Chapter 81. Rank 2 Initial Stage. The footsteps got closer, and soon the dark green trees at the side of the slope were forcefully separated. A tall man stepped forward, appearing in Fang Yuan's vision. He had black short hair, each strand standing straight up. The upper half of his body was naked. He had a large and thick body, the entirety of his body muscles bright red color. He was almost 2 meters tall, and during the cold autumn, he gave off the feeling of a mobile cauldron, his every breath able to raise the surrounding temperature. On his waist, several wild beast corpses were hanged. There were foxes, wild rabbits and chickens, not to forget the old wolf who had just left. Seeing Fang Yuan, he was slightly shocked, but quickly took large steps and walked past Fang Yuan. Gu Kai Shan. Seeing the large man's back leaving, Fang Yuan thought of his name. He was a representative of the Kai faction, having rank 2 upper stage cultivation. His experiences were similar to Fang Yuan even. This person was also very talented, having very great strength from young. At 10 he accidentally beat a family servant to death, and at 12 he could hold a heavy stone grinder and played it like a frisbee. Back then, the family all thought well of him, thinking he was an A grade. But during the awakening ceremony, they tested that his talent was only B grade. He had an originally wild and untamable nature, looking down on everyone. But he quickly changed after this experience, becoming more mature. Even with B-grade talent, he was the top student in his level. After a year of studying, he graduated from the academy and fought his way to the top. Years later, he had already become an elite among the clan's rank 2 GU masters. Happiness cannot teach a person life's true meaning, while only pain and suffering can. In the clan, a youngster attends the awakening ceremony at 15 and enters the academy. At 16, they graduate from the academy and form a 5-person group and complete the clan's missions, at the same time inheriting the family fortune. From 16, they will fight and compete while continually raising their cultivation. As the missions get more dangerous, their status will also increase. Some die and some live. Some get injured, and their cultivation level drops, living a plain life thereafter. Some become a rank 3 GU master after all the hardship and advance to clan elder, being one of the higher-ups. Fang Yuan's gaze shone, thinking of many things. The more a GU master cultivates, the harder it gets, and advancing becomes way more difficult. Coupled with dangerous and tough living environment, those that can advance to rank 3 are few to none. Speaking of which, it is almost winter. That means I've spent almost a year at the academy. Each year there are 2 examinations. The first is the mid-year exam, with different contents each year. The second is the year-end exam, and the contents never change, being arena fights. After the arena fight, I would no longer be able to stay at the hostel, and I would need to move out. Move out, but stay where? Fang Yuan could not live with his aunt and uncle, which was what they wanted. In this world, 16 meant adulthood, the age to start reproduction. Coupled with Fang Yuan's numerous secrets, he needed to live independently. In my previous life, after leaving the academy I was only rank 1 middle stage. This time, the situation is much better, I would be rank 1 peak stage by then. But with AC grade talent, coming this far is really an achievement. Although it had its costs, expending much of my primeval stones. Fang Yuan's eyebrows raised, he did not have many primeval stones left. Restricted by his talent, the primeval stones he expended for cultivation was much more than Fang Zheng, Kai Cheng or Mo Bei. He raised 6 GU worms by himself. Furthermore, the liquor worm's refinement, nurturing the aperture, using the white boar GU to increase strength, they all needed primeval essence. After the primeval essence was used up, with AC grade recovery speed, it could not satisfy his needs, so he could only use primeval stones and retrieve the natural essence within to replenish. Luckily he had the spring-autumn cicada, and also retrieved 2 GU from earth treasury flowers, thus refining GU worms did not expend much of his primeval stones. This made him feel slightly better. But after this when he leaves the academy, he needs to rent a house and get some income. After peak stage, it was to push for rank 2. This process would spend a lot of primeval stones. After rank 2, he still had to combine GU worms, and each combination attempt was a hefty cost. With all these factors, he was even clearer that his financial situation could no longer support him. Furthermore, he still had to continue feeding his GU worms and continue cultivating. If it wasn't for the mid-year exam where he used the wild boar tusks to exchange for quite some primeval stones and alleviated the pressure, he would not have survived till now. Primeval stones, the flower wine monk did not give any primeval stones in his inheritance, what a shame. Extorting my classmates is still my most important source of income. But after graduating, the academy's allowance would stop, and I cannot continue extorting. But if I get first for the year-end exam, I can get 150 primeval stones as reward, Fang Yuan contemplated in his heart. If he could get first place, the 150 primeval stones would alleviate his financial difficulty for a while. Time flies, autumn leaves and winter comes. On the arena in the academy, 3 stages had already been built. Beside the stage, near the bamboo walls of the arena, there were tents and long tables and chairs. The academy elder, clan leader and a few other clan elders were sitting below the tentage cover. There was a little snow in the sky. 57 students stood straight on the arena. Each of their noses were bright red from the weather, and every breath they took had steam coming out of their noses. The academy elder spoke loudly, "In a flash a year has ended. During this year you were trained in the academy and have started to grasp the qualities of a GU master. Tomorrow, you will have the year-end examination to test the fruits of your hard work. Not only will the clan leader and clan elders come personally to watch, your family elders and seniors will also come to observe to pick excellent performing students to join their small teams. Your performances tomorrow will to a large extent affect your future. Getting first place, not only is it 150 primeval stones, but you also get an advantage in picking GU worms. Now, start the final cultivation check in your academic life." Saying so, the academy elder nodded to a GU master beside him. The female GU master received the instructions and called out the name from the list, GU Jinzu. A young girl walked towards the GU master with a nervous expression. The GU master stretched out her hand, touching the young girl's abdomen. She closed her eyes to feel, then opened her eyes and declared, "GU Jinzu, rank 1 middle stage." Next, GU Peng. One after another, youngsters went up to check. Then they walked back down and returned to the group. Their expressions varied, some were happy while others were upset. The worst result was naturally rank 1 initial stage, all being the D-grade talents. A large number of the students were rank 1 middle stage, and little of them were B-grade, mostly C grades. GU Kai Chang. The middle-aged female GU master called. From the group, the shortest GU Kai Chang puffed his chest and walked out. After checking, the female GU master opened her eyes, GU Kai Chang, rank 1 peak stage. Up till now, this was the first rank 1 peak stage GU master. The clan elders present turned their heads. Some elders recognized, saying lightly, "This is Kai Lian's grandson, having B-grade talent, no wonder." Outside the tent, the youngsters also commented, "Kai Cheng is rank 1 peak stage, I wonder if Mo Bei is too. They are rivals after all. Being able to advance to peak stage, they are all A and B grades. Sigh, we see in D grades encounter bitterness that cannot be envied." HMPH. GU Mo Bei snorted, seeing Kai Cheng's proud expression, he was annoyed. GU Fang Zheng clenched his fists, his lips tightly shut, as if he was stifling in his emotions. GU Mo Bei. Soon, the examiner called. The horse-faced Mo Bei quickly walked out. GU Mo Bei, rank 1 peak stage. With this declaration, he walked back and stared defiantly at GU Kai Cheng when returning. The examination continued, and the snow in the sky became smaller, until it vanished. The cold chilly air was rather refreshing. GU Fang Yuan. The middle-aged female GU master called. Fang Yuan walked up expressionlessly. Soon after, she opened her eyes, looking at Fang Yuan in shock, before declaring, GU Fang Yuan, rank 1 peak stage. Rank 1 peak stage, did I hear wrongly? Fang Yuan cultivated to this level. The youngsters were shocked. Sigh, he's just lucky, having the liquor worm to nurture his aperture. Even against the A and B grades, with his C grade he isn't at a disadvantage. Some youngsters said with envy. Especially those C-grade talents, they sourly said to console themselves, this isn't much. The liquor worm cannot refine rank 2 primeval essence, Fang Yuan would no longer have such an advantage anymore. Even if he is peak stage, he is still a C grade, this is of no concern to us. Mo Bei and Kai Cheng stared at Fang Yuan, but quickly turned their attention to Fang Zheng, who was still waiting for his turn. In their hearts, only the A-grade talent Fang Zheng was a competitor. Brother, you've caught me by surprise. But from now on, watch carefully. Fang Zheng looked at Fang Yuan walking down, his eyes shone and revealed an anticipating expression. GU Fang Zheng. The female GU master finally said. The A-grade talent. The clan elders focused their attention to Fang Zheng. Fang Zheng walked out from the crowd. He could feel the pressure that these gazes were bringing him, causing him to become slightly nervous. But when he saw the clan leader Gu Bo's smile, the nervousness in his heart melted. He walked in front of the female Gu master. She shut her eyes, and then abruptly opened her eyes, saying in shock, Gu Fang Zheng, cultivation level, rank 2 initial stage. Boom. The youngsters erupted into a wave of discussions. What? He reached rank 2. As expected of the A-grade talent genius. Incredible, he left Mo Bei, Kai Cheng, and Fang Yuan in the dust. This Fang Zheng. At once, Mo Bei and Kai Cheng stared at Fang Zheng in shock. He, actually higher than in my previous life. Fang Yuan's eyelids drooped down as he laughed. He was not surprised, and after observing Fang Zheng's expression earlier, he could guess the result. A great talent after all. The hope of our clan. This is the credit of clan leaders' nurturing. The clan elders praised. At once, Fang Zheng became the center of attention. Half a year ago, Gu Bo gave him a jade skin Gu and asked him to be the first person to advance to rank 2. He did it. Clan leader, I did not disappoint you, I did it. From now on, I will achieve even more, getting the approval of the clan elders and the people around me. Brother, I've left you behind, you are no longer the shadow in my heart. I, Gu Fang Zheng, am no longer the one from back then. Fang Zheng yelled in his heart, his eyes shining with a kind of brilliance. This brilliance is called confidence. Chapter 82, Start of the Year-End Examination. The sun was bright after the snow passed. Gu masters streamed into the academy in the morning. The annual year-end exam has begun again. I wonder if the scene I saw from more than a decade ago when I graduated will be seen again. A middle-aged Gu master with long green hair cascading down his back stood outside the academy, reminiscing. Leader, get in, you love reminiscing. The young female Gu master beside him had blood-red lips, her hands placed in the pockets of her pants. There was a blade of grass in her mouth, and she rolled her eyes. Yao Hong, don't rush. We have to get in anyway. Since the clan leader had arranged it already, our new members have been decided long ago. The green-haired Gu master laughed. The A-grade talent Fang Zheng. The female Gu master Gu Yao Hong tutted in her mouth, saying unhappily, the clan leader's idea is to get us to babysit him. But this babysitting mission is not easy to accomplish. The green-haired male Gu master sighed, never mind, let's go in. As time passed, more and more Gu masters entered the academy doors, and stood in the arena. These were male and female Gu masters. There were young faces, middle-aged, and old people as well. Gu masters after graduating would come out and form small teams to complete the clan missions. The Gu masters that came to the arena were all the representatives of their groups, to assess the performances of the students and absorb them into their own teams. To the small groups, this was injecting fresh blood and expanding their group. To the newly joined members, under the guidance and teaching of the older members, they can swiftly adapt to the new environment and more effectively complete the clan missions and result in lesser deaths. The sun gradually rose, as the students entered the fray. So many people today, the youngsters proclaimed. Quickly see, that is Lord Qing Shu. He is our Gu clan's #1 person among the rank 2, and he is known for his mild and amiable temper. A person pointed at the green-haired male Gu master and shouted. Kai Shan Senior is here too. That is the Mo family's little Miss Mo Yan. Qing Shu, Kai Shan, and Mo Yan were the rising stars of the Gu masters, known by all students. Sigh, their teams are too hard to get in. I am only D grade, and my vital Gu is a gentle silk spider, I am meant to be a support staff. A youngster sighed, then asked his friend, you? Oh, I got it settled with relationships. Through the godson of my uncle's cousin's sister. As the students observed the Gu masters, Qing Shu, Kai Shan and Mo Yan also observed the students. Oh, there are 2 Gu Fang Zhengs. Yao Hong saw Fang Yuan and Fang Zheng, shouting out subconsciously. The green-hair male Gu master Gu Qing Shu helplessly sighed, did you see the information I gave you yesterday? Fang Zheng has a twin brother, they look very similar in appearance, but his brother is only C-grade talent. Oh, so that's the case. I seem to have heard that the one who made poems when he was young was Fang Yuan. Are we getting him into the team? Yao Hong patted her forehead with her palm, saying whatever she thought of. Qing Mao shook his head, the clan leader specifically mentioned, do not recruit him. He seems to be wanting to observe something. The brothers don't have a good relationship anyway. Even if we want to recruit him, Fang Yuan probably wouldn't join. Yao Hong did not think much of it, muttering, among the groups, we are the publicly acclaimed number one, joining us means a bright future. Any student would be interested. How could he be unwilling? Qing Shu laughed lightly, that's because you don't know him, look at the information I sent you first. At this time, the clan leader Jiu Bo, and the authoritative clan elders Jiu Kai Lian and Jiu Mo Chen entered, getting into the seats under the tentage. Not only the clan leader, but also Lord Kai Lian and Lord Mo Bei are attending this year. Seeing this, not only the students but also the Jiu masters were excited, this did not happen in previous years. Nothing strange, Kai Lian and Mo Chen's grandsons are all in this year's class. Fang Zheng is the clan leader's successor, the hope of the future to go against by Ningbing. The clan leader naturally has to observe carefully. Discussions were aplenty among the people. Perform well, brother. Mo Yan looked at Mo Bei among the people, silently praying in her heart. Her group had the most people, it was of the largest scale. Thus there were a bunch of Jiu masters around her, showing her imposing aura. As her most intense rival, Jiu Kai Shan from the Kai faction was standing alone, his huge figure easily acting like a giant red tower in a sea of people, standing out extensively. After checking out Kai Chang, he retracted his vision. With a speech from the clan leader, the year-end exam began. The three stages held fights at the same time. At once, shouting noises, sounds of moonblades flying, and the sounds of punches and kicks as well as the discussions of the Jiu masters below the stages fused into a loud banter. This year's physical fighting skills is high. Soon, Yao Hong saw the difference. He, all thanks to Fang Yuan. Jiu Qing Shu laughed. What do you mean? Yao Hong did not understand. Qing Shu explained to her. Yao Hong exclaimed in shock after listening, Fang Yuan, this lad, he's really daring, almost to the point of fearless. He, bullying even his own brother. This is interesting. She looked towards Fang Yuan and Fang Zheng from the crowd, thinking internally, which is the elder brother and which is the younger one. Next, Jiu Jin Zhu against Jiu Mo Bei. On the arena, the hosting Jiu master shouted. Jiu Mo Bei leapt upwards, and Jin Zhu walked up the stage with a serious expression. The two paid respects to each other and said no more, fighting at once. Moonblades danced in the air. The two continued to shoot and at the same time, moving and evading non-stop. Although a girl, Jin Zhu had good basic skills and was able to fight equally with Mo Bei for a while. But as time passed, her stamina could not keep up, and she started to be suppressed. Finally, with her body full of sweat and having no energy left, she surrendered. Mo Bei on the other hand was not even phased. Increasing endurance Jiu Ha, probably the yellow camel longhorn beetle Jiu. Below the stage, Fang Yuan observed, quickly seeing through Mo Bei. Fang Yuan had 6 Jiu worms, but that was an exception. Among the people of his age, they all had 1 or 2 Jiu worms. Not only because of the financial stress of feeding Jiu worms, but also because the Jiu worms' usage needed constant practice to accumulate experience. Greed for more would backfire. The students only started interacting with Jiu worms, and just began on their cultivation journey. 2 Jiu worms were enough for them to practice. Only an exception like Fang Yuan with his rich experience from his previous life, could easily grasp every Jiu worm that comes into possession and use them to the very best he can. The exam continued. Damn, jumping like a rabbit. On another stage, a youngster angrily shouted, Jiu Kai Chang, you're not a man, do you dare to fight with me physically? Tisk, only a fool would fight close range with you. On the stage, Jiu Kai Chang laughed in disdain. He used the scarlet pill cricket Jiu and jumped around, his body being very agile. His opponent only had a flower boar Jiu. Even if he could temporarily raise his strength by 1 boar, it was useless. Kai Chang would not go hand to hand with him. Finally, he got hit by a moonblade from Kai Chang and lost too much blood, retiring from the fight. The healing Jiu masters below the stage quickly rushed up and treated his injuries. As time passed, more and more students were mercilessly eliminated, and many youngsters also started to show their abilities. Kai Chang, Mo Bei, Fang Yuan, Fang Zheng. Until noon. The D-grade talents were all eliminated. They had limited talent and all chose support-type Jiu worms for production line or transport, which suited their lives. Thus, they had little help in battles. Little junior sister, your vital Jiu is a life breath grass right, my group needs a healer Jiu master. Senior, I wish to join your group, my vital Jiu is a moonlight Jiu. Sorry, we are not lacking any attack-type Jiu master. The small groups quickly recruited newbies, and the students also chose the groups they wanted. The fights on the stage did not have much visual appeal, and after a few rounds, there were not many highlights, it was even boring. This was because most people chose the Moonlight GU, and to most people, the fight would start with shooting moonblades. Whoever expended their primeval essence first would lose. If both parties had no more primeval essence, they would fight with punches and kicks. At the end, one will fall. Be it students, GU masters, or clan elders, they got bored watching and some were about to fall asleep. Until evening, there were only less than 10 students left on the stage. Finally ending, some GU masters lifted their spirits, shrugging off the sleepiness. At this moment, the GU master shouted, "Next round, GU Fang Zheng vs GU Mo Bei." Chapter 83, Sweeping Strong Foes, Fang Zheng displays his skills. Fang Zheng and Mo Chen both walked up the stage. "Fang Zheng, don't think that I will lose just because you have rank 2 cultivation. Today I will challenge and beat a higher realm." Mo Bei gritted his teeth, his expression solemn, cheering for himself in his heart. Against the rank 2 Fang Zheng, he indeed felt a strong sense of pressure. "Come," Fang Zheng roared, rushing out ferociously. Mo Bei's heart jumped, this Fang Zheng wasn't acting according to plan. Normally, they would first shoot moonblades before using hand-to-hand combat. But this time, he actually rushed up immediately, and wants to fight physically. Isn't he afraid of getting injured by my moonblade when exchanging punches and kicks? Mo Bei was perturbed. He was naturally not worried for Fang Zheng's safety, but knew that if they engaged in close combat, with such a short distance if Fang Zheng shot a moonblade, it was unavoidable. Mo Bei quickly took a step back, attempting to pull some distance. At the same time, he shot out a moonblade with a flick of his wrist. Fang Zheng was unfazed, taking a tumble and avoiding the moonblade, continuing his pursuit. At the same time, a lump of lunar energy collected in his palm. Mo Bei looked at the moonlight in his hands that hasn't been fired and felt tense in his heart, quickly taking steps back. Although he worked hard in close combat and also trained his moonblade, he was still inferior to Fang Zheng, who was nurtured personally by the clan leader. Mo Bei was not suited to this style of combat, and quickly fell into disadvantage. That side is interesting. The battle on this arena attracted much attention. They're actually fighting so closely, this Fang Zheng has guts. Yao Hong could now discern who was Fang Yuan and Fang Zheng. Fang Yuan had a cold expression and emitted an aura of maturity, while Fang Zheng was steel-willed, radiating a sunny aura. It must be the clan leader's teaching. Normally when students fight, they would be 10 meters apart. Further than this distance and the moonblade would dissipate. If they fought closer than this distance, the students would not react in time. Gu Qingshu's gaze shone. Fang Zheng's battle distance now has shrunk to 6 meters, but his ability to avoid the moonblade is proficient. It seems that not only is the clan leader helping Fang Zheng, but Fang Zheng also put in some hard work and went through much hardship. Little brother, Mo Yan, seeing Mo Bei forced into a corner by Fang Zheng, showed worry and panic on her face. She really wanted to go in and help out, giving Fang Zheng a good beating. Kai Shan, however, was expressionless, only watching and not speaking. After Fang Zheng got close to Mo Bei and shortened the distance to 6 meters, he no longer got closer, but used the Moonlight GU and entered a firing contest. Mo Bei tried hard to improvise. His actions were in a mess, and many times he was almost hit by the moonblades, constantly in danger. Fang Zheng, on the other hand, already had his winning formula. Even if he could not evade in time, he still had the Jade Skin GU, and as long as he uses the Jade Green Glow in time, he would be able to block the moonblade. Seeing how Mo Bei was defenselessly beaten by himself, Fang Zheng's thoughts flew back to a time in the past. Under the moonlight, the clan leader taught him the evasion movements step by step, unreservedly imparting him all the experience he had. "Clan leader, I will not let you down." Fang Zheng's eyes shimmered with hope, he was getting braver as he fought. "Fang Zheng, you have the talent and the endurance, studiously training. The result is all because of your blood and sweat. This is the fruits of your hard work, continue like this, Fang Zheng. Using this aura, go and show your brilliance." Under the tentage, the clan leader excitedly cheered on inwardly, even though he looked like he was quietly watching the fight, his lips curled into a smile. Although Mo Bei struggled furiously, resisting adamantly, but after 15 minutes, his entire body was full of injuries, the blood oozing out and dyeing his shirt red. The organizing GU master, upon seeing such a scene, announced, "The victory goes to GU Fang Zheng." "I haven't lost yet," Mo Bei shouted loudly, his entire blood-bathed body wavering in the air. But after struggling to no end, he was forced to receive treatment by the healing GU masters. A battle of such an intensity is already beyond the graduating standard. An A-grade talent is after all a genius. I heard he received personal guidance from the clan leader, can he not be amazing? Seeing such a result, the GU masters below the stage praised endlessly. GU Fang Zheng panted as he walked down the stage. 3 GU masters came to him and healed him, while also providing free primeval stones to allow him to quickly recover his primeval essence. After resting for a while, he recovered to his peak condition and ascended the stage again. This time, he was against GU Kai Cheng. Kai Cheng looked at Fang Zheng, laughing dryly, very good. Fang Zheng, you defeated Mo Bei, that rascal. If I defeat you now, it would be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He seemed very confident. Fang Zheng's lips remained tight, as he said nothing but rushed towards him. Dragonpill Cricket GU. Kai Cheng's thought flashed, and immediately an orange-red colored glow came from both his legs. He leapt lightly and instantly retreated 10 meters away. The distance that Fang Zheng had just shortened was immediately lengthened. He. Kai Cheng got smug and laughed. Fang Zheng, you have no speed increasing GU, and with your 2 legs, you cannot catch me. Although this stage isn't big, it is enough for me to maneuver. Your tactic might have worked on Mo Bei, but against me it is ineffective. Is that so? Fang Zheng stopped his movements and stood on the spot, staring intently at Kai Cheng. He smiled, his eyes showing iron will, shouting loudly, continue dodging like that, but every time you use the Dragonpill Cricket GU, you have to use a certain amount of primeval essence. You have merely rank 1 peak stage green copper primeval essence, but I am already at rank 2 red steel primeval essence, 3 times your endurance. Your talent is inferior to me as well. At the end, you would run out of primeval essence and the loser will be you. You. Kai Cheng was shocked, he only saw his advantage but did not notice his weakness. Right now, he could not help but agree with Fang Zheng, and his fighting spirit dampened. What? Fang Zheng is rank 2. The surrounding GU masters gasped. The examination results were only obtained the day before, thus they were only spread among certain people, so most of the crowd did not know about it yet. An A-grade talent, no doubt, amazing, this Fang Zheng might really be the rising star of our clan. Bai clan has that Bai Ningbing, he is really too powerful. If Fang Zheng can grow up, he might be able to resist Bai Ningbing. This lad is interesting, getting to rank 2 in the academy and with such solid basic skills, this is such an uncommon scene. No wonder the clan leader poured so much effort into him, Yao Hong muttered. Qing Shu replied, the clan leader's guidance is only part of it, don't look down on this lad. Ever since he survived the assassination incident, he has become very hardworking, cultivating to the best of his limits, he is a good seedling, with both talent and hard work. If he can grow up, sigh, I feel like my burden is increasing. He. Clan leader Gu Bo laughed lightly. Kai Cheng's weak nature was analyzed by him to Fang Zheng. Now that he saw Fang Zheng using it to his advantage, Gu Bo was very pleased. It seems that Fang Zheng is this year's number 1. Beside the clan leader, Gu Mo Chen said. Gu Kai Lian snorted, staring at the scene intently. He obviously wished for his grandson to win and defeat Fang Zheng, that way he would win honor for the Kai faction. But things do not go as he wished, and on the stage after getting demoralized, Kai Cheng could no longer display his 100% ability against Fang Zheng, and made continuous mistakes. Eventually, Kai Cheng was caught with a fatal flaw, and was swept down the stage. Gu Fang Zheng wins. GU Master announced. Gu Kai Lian's face was black. At once, Fang Zheng was famous, getting all the attention from the clan people. Fang Zheng beat Mo Bei and Kai Cheng simultaneously with wits and courage, it seems he is the first place this year, some people praised. Makes sense, I think well of him as well. Too bad he cannot join our group. As the groups choose students, students are also choosing groups. A seated student like Fang Zheng was already long booked. Fang Zheng is the clan leader's faction, while Mo Bei, Kai Cheng are the Mo faction, Kai faction's future leaders. This way, it seems that the GU clan would be heavily dominated by the clan leader faction, suppressing the 2 clan elders. Some people could see even further. On the other 2 stages, the battles continued. Fang Zheng walked down the stage long ago, hearing the people's praises, his heart roaring as he felt himself being reborn. Different, it was very different from before. His heart was filled with the excitement of recognition, the anticipation of being appreciated, and the joy of being commended. A gust of winter wind blew, and although he felt the chilly wind, Fang Zheng could only feel the sense of warmth like the summer day. Last match, Gu Fang Zheng vs Gu Fang Yuan. A while later, an announcer shouted. Chapter 84. Trample Ruthlessly. The final battle, Gu Fang Zheng vs Gu Fang Yuan. Oh, interesting, to think that at the end, it is a showdown between brothers. Fang Zheng, seeing this, the clan leader's smile faded slightly. The greatest obstacle in your heart is your brother Fang Yuan. Go ahead and defeat him. You have red steel primeval essence while also having the jade skin Gu. With both offense and defense, you have the greatest advantage. Break apart this obstacle in your way, and you shall be reborn. The final match finally started. The two brothers stood on the same arena, staring at each other. The last remaining sunrays were like blood. The light of the sunset was like a luxurious carpet for the arena. Two very similar faces. The little brother's fighting spirit burned on, while the older brother's gaze was deep as the abyss. Brother, Fang Zheng's fists were clenched as he stared intently at Fang Yuan, speaking with a firm voice, admit defeat. I am already rank 2, and I have over 80% red steel primeval essence. Your green bronze primeval essence is only 44%, you have no chance. Fang Yuan lightly looked at his brother, you are surely clear about my primeval essence. But it's better if you don't spout nonsense. If primeval essence can decide the victory, what's the point of fighting? Fang Zheng was stunned, but soon he raised his spirits, and his vigor could be seen burning in his eyes. In truth, in the deepest part of his heart, he also did not want Fang Yuan to admit defeat. But Fang Yuan was his older brother after all, thus in view of their relationship he had to say it. If not, that would be too cruel. Since big brother is so determined, then I have no choice but to attack. Before he finished his sentence, Fang Zheng rushed towards Fang Yuan. This again, below the stage, Mo Bei looking at this scene, gritted his teeth. He made up his mind to harshly train himself after going back and return this humiliation tenfold to Fang Zheng. Fang Yuan is finished, he does not have my dragonpill cricket Gu. Kai Cheng folded his arms and smirked, enjoying Fang Yuan's troubles. Fang Zheng sprinted and instantly shortened the distance. In his hand there was a ball of moonlight. Fang Yuan's expression was like steel, there was not a single change as he looked at the charging Fang Zheng. He did not take a single step away, but blue-colored moonlight also gathered in his right palm. Suddenly, Fang Yuan took a firm step after stomping the ground, and moved towards Fang Zheng instead of backing away. Fang Zheng did not expect Fang Yuan's movement, he panicked internally and quickly fired a moonblade. Fang Yuan rushed quickly, and twisted his body, avoiding the moonblade by a hair's breadth. His expression was cold, without any shouting or aggression. But in his silence, there was an aura of absolute iciness emitting from him. Fang Zheng subconsciously took a few steps back. His limit was 6 meters, but now Fang Yuan was 5 meters away from him. This time he had to be the one trying to increase their distance. Dun dun dun. Fang Zheng retreated while flicking his right wrist several times, sending moonblades flying to try and push Fang Yuan back. Fang Yuan took fluid steps that were one after another, his body extremely agile. He moved intensely, and every time he managed to avoid the moonblade with no margin for error. This Fang Yuan is even more daring. Yao Hong shouted. Such a battle, they've disregarded death already, Qing Shu also exclaimed. Another battle maniac. Mo Yan gritted her teeth, giving a glance at Kai Shan who was not far away. Kai Shan was expressionless, but his eyes glimmered occasionally. The noise from the audience stopped, they were all captivated by the battle on the stage. The moonblades and Fang Yuan brushed past each other. From time to time there was a blue light that would reflect upon Fang Yuan's face. His cold expression remained as it was without any change, and each time he narrowly evaded death, showing his extreme battle talent. The clan leader and clan elders all showed a serious expression. Kai Cheng and Mo Bei stared with their mouths wide open, looking at Fang Yuan dodging every single moonblade in an impossible manner. How did he do it? Numerous students had a giant question mark on their heads. HMPH, Fang Yuan who had 500 years of battle experience, how can he be compared to Fang Zheng who was only taught for a year by a rank 4 GU master? In Fang Yuan's eyes, Fang Zheng was as thin as a clear stream. No matter how the stream flowed, or turned its way among the mountain rocks, he could see through it clearly to the bottom of the river. The moonblade's every attack was not instant, it needed a process. Fang Zheng had to flick his wrist, and that was the greatest foretelling. In Fang Yuan's eyes, Fang Zheng's shoulder movement, the movement of his wrist, every step he took provided a large amount of information. Fang Zheng's every attack, evasion and dodging was easily seen through by Fang Yuan, even as to what was going on in Fang Zheng's head, Fang Yuan could guess to a degree. Fang Zheng's mind right now was flabbergasted. Fang Yuan was the obstacle in his heart for more than 10 years, the shadow quickly expanding into darkness, dragging him into the abyss. The nervous emotion made him forget to use the jade skin Gu. Fang Yuan's strong approach caused him to panic and he was unable to regain his tempo, thus not allowing him time to think. This was the difference in experience, this was the difference between inside knowledge. In Fang Yuan's perspective, his inside information was even more important than the spring-autumn cicada, it was his greatest reliance. He was able to not rely on the clan leader, family, friends, or Gu worms. He had always and only relied on himself. In this world, only oneself is the most reliable. Those teammates and battle partners, they were just the masks of weaklings, the excuse to anticipate help from others. He finally reached near Fang Zheng. Bam! Fang Yuan's punch was pulled from a hidden angle, smashing right into Fang Zheng's stomach. Fang Zheng's body curled as the force of the fist almost caused him to vomit. He quickly protected his head with his arms and took a large step back. At the crucial moment, it showed his steady basic skills. Where is he? Fang Zheng's eyes stared wide, looking around from the gap between his arms, trying to find Fang Yuan's location. Behind. With this thought, Fang Zheng felt a strong force at his waist. He lost his center of gravity and fell on the ground. But Fang Zheng had gone through tough training. With this movement he flipped around on the ground and at the same time, shot out a moonblade from his palm towards his back. This movement was the battle experience imparted by the clan leader. If it was a normal person, they might follow closely behind Fang Zheng. If they could not react in time, they would be hit by the moonblade. Even if the moonblade did not hit, they would be forced back. But who was Fang Yuan? Even Gu Yubo could not compete with him in terms of experience. Fang Yuan moved steadily, not giving chase. Instead, he moved in a circle and got near to Fang Zheng. The moonblade only managed to hit air. Fang Zheng thought he was able to pull some distance and quickly stood up. He was about to reorganize himself but he suddenly heard a swoosh sound. This is the gust of a punch. At that split second, Fang Zheng had such a thought. Immediately after, he was harshly hit in the ear by Fang Yuan's fist. Bam! He immediately felt his vision darken, and a strong sense of dizziness caused him to lose balance, completely collapsing on the ground. He sprawled on the ground for over 2 breaths' time, and finally he recovered slightly. His vision became clearer, seeing Fang Yuan's 2 feet right beside him. He suddenly understood how ugly his situation was. He was sprawled on the ground like a dog while Fang Yuan stared at him from that high position. Damn it! Fang Zheng was furious and tried to get up. Under everyone's eyes, Fang Yuan lifted his right leg and stepped down firmly. Bam! Fang Zheng's head was harshly stepped on, like a rock hitting the stage, making a loud sound. Fuck! Fang Zheng raged and tried to get up again. Fang Yuan stared coldly, trampling down once again. Bam! Fang Zheng's head hit the stage again. His scalp knocked open and blood bled non-stop. Damn it! Fang Zheng's teeth were about to be crushed from his clenching, and the rage in his chest burned through his entire body. He raised his head again, trying to get up. Bam! Fang Yuan's 3rd step came down. This time he continued to step on his head, not letting go. Under the immense force, Fang Zheng's face was harshly squeezed on the stage floor. Fang Zheng's face was almost deformed, and he breathed raggedly, struggling to no avail. He felt that on his head, there was a huge rock that would not move no matter how he struggled. Right, how could I forget, I have the Moonlight Gu. Under the despair, Fang Zheng's inspiration struck, and he thought of the Moonlight Gu. His right palm gathered moonlight again. But how could Fang Yuan not notice? With a light sound, he shot out a moonblade onto Fang Zheng's right palm. Arg! Fang Zheng cried out, the immense pain sending his body into a spasm like he was struck by lightning. His palm was almost pierced through by Fang Yuan, showing his white bones. The Moonlight Gu on his palm was already struck a great blow, it was on the brink of death. Chapter 85. Hot-blooded and cold-blooded. These 2 brothers really aren't on good terms, Yao Hong mumbled. This Fang Yuan is too cruel, treating his brother like this, many people frowned unhappily. Fang Yuan is too savage, extorting our primeval stones for an entire year. Now he's treating his brother like this, the students gritted their teeth. Fang Yuan's coldness forced out their hatred towards a common enemy. Fang Zheng, stand up, stand up. Defeat Fang Yuan, some unknown student shouted. Defeat Fang Yuan, defeat Fang Yuan. Instantly, many youngsters shouted. This Fang Yuan is indeed a hated person. Mo Yan snorted, enjoy his predicament. Fang Zheng, hang in there, stand up. Defeat this monster Fang Yuan. Fang Zheng, stand up. We're with you. Fang Zheng, you can do it, you can do it. The crowd cheered on fiercely, and sounds of encouragement entered Fang Zheng's ears. Huff, 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 huff. Fang Zheng gasped heavily. As the sounds entered his heart, it gave him an unimaginable strength. The scenes of the past played in his head. On the streets, the clansmen's comments. That's Fang Yuan, the future genius, he is not to be underestimated. Who's that behind him? Oh, probably his brother, who knows what his name is. Uncle and aunt laughed. Fang Yuan, now the entire village is discussing the new poem you wrote. This is very good, uncle and aunt are proud of you. Fang Yuan waved his hand, saying calmly, I only made those on a whim. Uncle and aunt nodded, saying to Fang Zheng, learn well from your brother, if you were half as talented as your brother, we would not have to worry. Under the moonlight, deep in the courtyard, clan leader Jiu Bo looked at Fang Zheng, saying gently, Fang Zheng, have confidence. You must find your purpose, believe in yourself. But, Sir Clan Leader. Jiu Bo patted his shoulders, encouraging, the shadow in your heart, others cannot dispel it for you. You can only rely on yourself. I await that day. The night before the year-end exam. Shen Kui looked at Fang Zheng with love in her gaze under the lamp lights. Young master, I believe that you can get number 1. I have always believed it. Work hard. The morning before departure, uncle and aunt stood at the doorstep. Fang Zheng, after the year-end exam, you would be leaving the academy. Seeing your growth, we are very happy. Go and show everyone the strength of an A grade. And, under the setting sun, in a dark corner, a female classmate cried profusely, the allowance is only 3 primeval stones, but Fang Yuan snatched a piece away, leaving me with 2. I am almost unable to feed my moonlight GU at this rate. Fang Zheng's heart softened, this is my primeval stone, I'll lend it to you. The female classmate took the primeval stone, saying with tears, Fang Zheng, you are too nice, please defeat your brother and end his tyranny in the academy. Fang Zheng was silent. A bunch of classmates appeared in front of him. Fang Zheng, you are an A-grade talent, you can do it. Fang Yuan is too much, constantly bullying us, you are our only hope. Fang Zheng, from today onwards, we're with you, we will always support you. Everyone, Fang Zheng observed the surroundings, seeing the concerned pairs of eyes, and felt extremely touched. Everyone has expectations of me. My classmates, uncle, aunt, Shen Kui, and Sir Clan Leader. Everyone is waiting for me, looking at me, supporting me. How can I lose? How can I fall here? How can I? Boom, 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 boom. His heart pounded in his chest, and Fang Zheng's eyes shone with brilliance. I cannot fall here, I will dispel the shadow and stand up. Fang Zheng's fists were tightly clenched, no longer feeling any pain at this point. He felt a lion in his chest, awakening from its sleep and opening its huge mouth to roar. Hot blood boiled in his body. Stand up, stand up. Break the shadows, break the darkness. Arg hhhhhhhh. Fang Zheng opened his mouth wide to shout, his body starting to emit a green jade light. What's that? The crowd silenced. Jade skin GU. Someone shouted. Bam! The students roared towards the heavens. Fang Zheng, you can do it. Fang Zheng, we have your back. Finally only one last cheer remained. Stand up. Stand up. Everyone, I can hear your voices. Fang Zheng clenched his fist, his teeth almost crushed. Fang Yuan's pressure was no longer so imposing, he could finally get up, slowly and steadily. The shouting intensified, he's burning with anger. He's going to do a comeback. GU masters hearing such cheers and excitement from the crowd, were all starting to feel moved. That's right, Fang Zheng, that's right. Stand up, abandon the past, dispel the shadow and stand up, you will become a new person. Clan leader's eyes shone with bright light as he cheered Fang Zheng on in his heart. Jade skin GU, Fang Yuan's eyelids drooped. He pulled back his leg and saw Fang Zheng stand up slowly, the jade skin Gu's radiance turning his face green. Fang Zheng had always been hiding this trump card up till now and did not reveal it to anyone, thus nobody knew about it. Fang Zheng got up. The crowd's cheers exploded. He stood up. Clan leader was moved, uncontrollably standing up from his seat. At this moment, he saw the rise of an A-grade talent. He saw the future of the GUU clan. I stood up, brother, I will defeat you. Fang Zheng's eyes burned with determination, his entire body enveloped in bright green light like he was wearing jade armor. Oh wow, this defense, even the moonblade can't pierce it. It seems Fang Zheng wins. Yao Hong raised her brows, blowing a whistle. Indeed, even with the little light goo's reinforcement, hitting on this barrier, it would only cause Fang Zheng's primeval essence to be consumed faster. But comparing primeval essence expenditure, Fang Yuan is no match for Fang Zheng. After this match, Fang Zheng is going to rise. Qing Shu laughed lightly. Fang Zheng had a jade skin GU, but only used it now. It seems Fang Yuan's earlier attacks confused him. But now, victory is already waving towards him. Mo Yan folded her arms, her gaze slightly uncertain. Time seemed to have paused. On the stage, the brothers faced each other. The two's distance was so close yet so far. Fang Zheng's firm determination, Fang Yuan's eternal indifference. Little brother, he looked at Fang Zheng peacefully, his lips curling into a smirk, thinking of defeating me, you're still far from it. He raised his right hand, his right arm flexing, pulling into a bow shape. Big brother, you've lost. Fang Zheng felt amused in his heart seeing Fang Yuan's raised fist. As long as he had primeval essence, even with the little light goo's reinforcement, the moonblade could not break the jade color barrier, not to mention his fist. Unless he used the flower boar GU or the brute force longhorn beetle GU to raise his strength. But even so, he would need a defensive type GU. Fang Yuan did not say anything, but he used his fist to give the most straightforward answer. The next moment, the right fist flew in the air and hit Fang Zheng harshly on the cheeks. Bam! After a loud crash, blood spilled as the jade light smashed to bits like broken mirror fragments dancing in the sky before vanishing. What? Fang Zheng was hit by such a shock once again, and after a stunned moment, his neck was almost broken as he hurriedly retreated. Fang Yuan followed up closely, using a bow step and raising his left fist, pulling back and striking again upwards. Bam! Fang Zheng's other half of his face was hit by the impact, his head rising high up with blood and broken jade light flying in the air. Bam! 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 He took 3 steps backwards, his ears buzzing as a dizziness 10 times greater than before assaulted him. How can this be? His vision darkened, and he collapsed on the arena. Plop! Fang Zheng fell on the ground, the light dissipating on his body as he fainted in the next moment. The shouts and cheers came to an abrupt end. The happy, excited expressions of the students were still glued on their faces, unable to change due to such a shock. The entire arena was silent. Fang Yuan's fists were bloody, to the point his bloody finger bones could be seen. Drops of blood fell and dripped on the stage. Swoosh! A cold winter wind blew, freezing away all the hot-bloodedness. Fang Yuan's hair wavered in the air as he stood still on the stage. It was almost as if the heavily injured person with both his fists almost crippled was not him. He looked coldly at the surroundings with a calm expression. Everyone was silent. In the tentage, the clan leader was still standing, staring dumbfoundedly. Sorry, I've let you all disappointed, Fang Yuan said lightly. Chapter 86. Suspicion and Probing. On the stage, Fang Zheng fainted on the ground with no more movements from him. Fang Yuan, however, continued with his cold expression, standing in the middle of the stage. After a momentary silence, the crowds erupted. How can this be? Some people hugged their heads, revealing an expression of disbelief. 2 punches breaking the jade skin goo's defense, this, some people were tongue-tied. Too savage, even the jade light got smashed by him, does he not feel pain? Some female GU masters took in a chilly breath. Without any defensive GU worm and using his bare hands to break the jade light, this is true blue self-harm. Even male GU masters' eyes twitched upon seeing Fang Yuan's hands, and were shocked by his ruthlessness. Being ruthless to others, that is easy, but being ruthless to yourself, that is hard. Fang Yuan using his bare hands to break the jade skin goo's defense, it was not only savage to his younger brother, but even harsher on himself. I'll go take a look. The academy elder could no longer stand it, and after saying so, he jumped onto the stage. He first squatted down and observed the fainted Fang Zheng, sighing in relief as he found that Fang Zheng was not in a critical condition. His head just had a huge impact, causing him to fall unconscious. Unbelievable, with the jade skin goo's defense, he still suffered such heavy injuries from someone using their bare hands. The academy elder was shocked internally, raising his head and looking at Fang Yuan, his eyes shining with a fierce light. Fang Yuan, I'll heal you. The academy elder stood up, taking a few huge strides towards Fang Yuan and grabbing his forearm. Fang Yuan's arms were in terrible condition. Not only was the blood and skin vaguely mashed, even his bones were revealed. Because of the huge impact there were also cracks on the bones. How intense this pain is, yet he didn't even frown a bit. Even if it was the academy elder, his heart shuddered seeing such injuries. His tone was complicated, saying to Fang Yuan, "Endure it, the healing is very itchy and also very painful." Saying so, his 5 fingers spread open and emitted a wave of blue moonlight. The moonlight got brighter and caused the Academy Elder's right hand to be translucent from the shine. At a glance, the Academy Elder's entire right hand was like a piece of blue jade, the blood vessels and bones were all turned into jade. The Academy Elder lightly raised his right hand and covered Fang Yuan's injured fist. It was just like a piece of cold jade touching on an injury that was mashed with blood and flesh. Fang Yuan felt a heart-piercing pain, but he gritted his teeth and did not make a sound. The Academy Elder's hand emitted gentle moonlight and the moonlight nourished Fang Yuan's injured spot. On the bones, the cracks started to mend, and the flesh and skin started to grow rapidly and heal. Fang Yuan felt an intense itching, causing him to breathe heavily. The Academy Elder's expression was calm. While healing Fang Yuan, he diverted a part of his concentration towards Fang Yuan's arm, and also inspected his aperture. In the aperture, the black-green colored copper primeval essence was raging like waves in the sea. A white and fat liquor worm was swimming and playing in the primeval sea. The 4 walls of the aperture were all made of white-colored crystal walls. This showed Fang Yuan's rank 1 peak stage cultivation clearly. The Academy Elder did not look away, but continued to scan Fang Yuan's body. Finally, he found that on Fang Yuan's palm, there was the Moonlight GU and Little Light GU. No other GU worms. Did Fang Yuan really use his own strength to break the defense of the Jade Skin GU? Such strength is far beyond a mortal adult. He is only 15 years old, how can he have such strength? The Academy Elder's eyes shone with suspicion. "Clan Elder, thank you for your treatment." Fang Yuan took back his arm from the Academy Elder and shook it around. Although there was still some pain, the injury had already healed. If this was back on Earth, such an injury would have taken a year or 2 to heal and would even leave some serious side effects. This was the magical aspect of this world. Now that Fang Yuan's arms were healed, although he still felt like they were weak when he grabbed the air or waved them around, 7 or 8 days later, the strengthless side effect would disappear. But Fang Yuan was not grateful to the Academy Elder. His injury could also be healed by other healing GU masters, and he was well aware, the Academy Elder's motive was to inspect his aperture. Fang Yuan had expected this from the start, so he left the White Boar GU and Jade Skin GU in the second secret cave. As for the Spring-Autumn Cicada, with its rank 6 status, if it wanted to hide, even the rank 4 GU Yubo would not find it if he inspected personally. The Academy Elder did not find anything, and that caused him to frown. Although he was still suspicious in his heart, but in front of so many people, he did not have the proper opportunity to ask. "Fang Yuan, you performed well, continue working hard." Finally, the Academy Elder patted Fang Yuan's shoulder and declared loudly, "This year's final exam, the first place goes to Fang Yuan." Ever since the Academy Elder's ascension to the stage, the audience watched quietly. After hearing his announcement, they started discussing fervently. To think that at the end, Fang Yuan had the last laugh. He's merely AC grade, but he beat the rank 2 Fang Zheng who has a Jade Skin GU, did he cheat? Probably not, from the Academy Elder's personal treatment and probing. If he did not find any problems, Fang Yuan probably did not cheat. Fang Yuan's fists were greatly injured, that's normal. But as a 15-year-old, having such strength that surpasses an adult by far, isn't it suspicious? What is there to be suspicious about? There are always people who are born with strange talents. Either super strength, or super smart. Actually Fang Yuan's strength isn't that scary, think about that guy. The speaking GU master indicated at the standing Kai Shan. People were immediately enlightened, oh yes. When Kai Shan was still a kid, his strength was already greater than an adult, is Fang Yuan also such a monster? That has to be it. When Fang Yuan was young, he could make poems. Those poems were famous around the village back then. We thought he was an A grade, but he turned out to be C grade, but it seems heaven has other plans and compensated him with strength. He is still a C grade anyway, if he was B grade he would be another Kai Shan. HMPH, nothing to be envious about, a GU master's cultivation relies on their talent. If I can get a Black Boar GU in the future, I would have even greater strength than him. That is nothing much, he can only be arrogant for a while. Some people shrugged, speaking unconcernedly. Fang Yuan walked down the stage, his eyes picking up the people's discussions as he smirked coldly inside his heart. The liquor worm's origin was already perfectly explained by Fang Yuan, but once the Jade Skin GU was exposed, Fang Yuan would not be able to explain it. Thus, he had to keep this secret and could not use it in public. As for these people's thoughts and explanations, it was the direction Fang Yuan wanted them to go. Or rather, even if the higher-ups were suspicious, they would only be suspicious of his mysterious backer. Half a year ago, I risked the danger and used the wild boar tusks to create a second layer of protection at the camp. It is finally coming into play. Fang Yuan's eyes were dark like the abyss. The Gu clan leader did not sit down. He kept on standing and frowning deeply. This matter had developed out of his control. Fang Yuan getting first place, he did not really care much. It was just a year-end exam's first place, it was nothing significant. He was worried about Gu Fang Zheng. Undeniably, today's impact was too great on Fang Zheng. If Fang Zheng was beaten completely from the start and lost the fight, so be it. But it just had to be at the point where he used his full strength and got a huge confidence boost, that he was sent sprawling by Fang Yuan's two fists. Such a psychological trauma might negatively impact his growth. Under my guidance and arrangement, Fang Zheng was the first to advance to upper stage, peak stage and rank 2 initial stage, continuously gaining success and confidence. But this confidence is probably gone by now. Sigh, my hard work has all gone up like smoke. Gu Bo sighed deeply, naturally gaining a little sense of disgust and loathing towards Fang Yuan. If Fang Yuan had lost to Fang Zheng, everything would have been perfect. But he actually won, that is too infuriating. Not only the clan leader, but the other clan elders were also full of solemn and complex gazes. Fang Yuan's strength is actually so huge, is he really a monster like Kai Shan? Actually, he was strange from young, making poems when he was younger than 10, so his strength getting larger as he grew up is nothing strange. But there is another possibility, and that is human action. Fang Yuan has a mysterious backer, maybe the backer assisted him. But the person behind him, who could it be? The clan elders' hearts were overturning, but their expressions said otherwise. Clan leader Gu Bo went silent before revealing a smile, saying, Fang Yuan, getting first place with AC grade talent, this is an unprecedented grand feat. Becoming first place, you have 100 primeval stones as reward and also Gu worm choosing priority. Now, I shall reward you further, you can choose any small group you want and join it. Regardless of the group, whichever one you want, just say it and you can join. Upon saying so, all the rank 2 Gu masters and students stared at Fang Yuan in envy. Small groups had their differences too, and joining a good group meant a bright future. Gu Bo's reward was very generous. Although I made this decision on the spot, I believe the clan elders here would agree with me. Gu Bo smiled even more intensely, looking at the clan elders beside him. With Gu Kai Lian and Gu Mo Chen as the head of the clan elders, all of their faces were grim and some even frowned, but no one stopped him. Fang Yuan's heart jumped. Trouble had come. Chapter 87. Attitude is the mask of the heart. Fang Yuan could see the intentions behind such an action. This was a small probing test from the clan leader. His gaze swept through the arena. The entire clan's best performing 3 groups were here. The clan leader's faction's Qingshu group, Kai faction's Kai Shan group, and Mo faction's Mo Yan group. If it was a regular student, joining any of the 3 groups meant getting a huge backer, representing a bright future. But to Fang Yuan, it was the reverse. In the clan's higher-ups' perception, he was already part of a mysterious faction. Joining any of the 3 spelled trouble. For example, if he joined the Kai Shan faction, the Kai family obviously know they did not recruit him, so their first thought would be, Fang Yuan is a pawn of another family, but now that he's joining our group, what intentions does he have? Next they would think, the mysterious faction that recruited Fang Yuan earlier had already broken the rules, and now that Fang Yuan is present here, the clan leader would think that we were the ones who recruited him, so isn't this, carrying the fault, for them? That will not do, we have to arrest Fang Yuan, keep a close eye on him and investigate him. We shall find concrete evidence and reveal the mysterious backer of his. But the truth was, Fang Yuan has no backer. Once I join any of the 3 groups, it means I am offending one out of the 3 biggest factions in this clan. That will definitely not do. Sigh, I originally wanted to keep a low profile and join Zhang He's group, but Zhang He's group is backed by the Punishment Hall Elder. Under everyone's watchful eye, if I join abruptly, that is inappropriate as well. Fang Yuan inevitably hesitated. Gu Bo's smile became even more intense, continuing, Fang Yuan, if you don't choose, I'll select for you. The clan elders beside him watched quietly with an unmoving expression, each of them standing like statues. HMPH, forcing me. Fang Yuan's gaze shone, immediately guessing Gu Bo's next words, either throwing him to Kai Shan's group or Mo Yan's group. Ji Bo knew in his heart that he did not recruit Fang Yuan. To him, this act can not only remove suspicion on him but also weaken his foe, as well as reveal the mysterious faction. It was killing three birds with one stone. It was a play that could divert the problem away. Although seemingly simple, it was a strategic move showing Ji Bo's experienced political ability. No, I must not let him dictate it. It seems I can only choose a crappy group. Fang Yuan was about to open his mouth and speak. Suddenly at this moment, someone spoke. Why don't you join our team? Our group is lacking an attacker. Who said that? At once, everyone turned around towards the source of the voice. The person speaking was neither tall or short, with dark yellow skin that made him look sickly. A pair of triangular eyes shone with brilliance. It's the sickly snake Ji Jiao San. 1. Someone pointed out his identity. Ji Jiao San. It's just a trash team with no background. The clan leader and clan elders all showed a disappointed expression. Jiao San, Fang Yuan's eyes shone with an undetectable dark shine. He and this Ji Jiao San person had never met or spoken before, and he had no memories of such a person. Why did Jiao San open his mouth and invite him into his team? Was it purely because he had gotten first place in the examination? How can that be? Only someone as childish as Fang Zheng would have such a naive thought. But, since Jiao San opened his mouth and invited Fang Yuan personally, such a situation was a good breakthrough point. The clan's higher-ups must be very disappointed now. Hee. Fang Yuan smiled thinking of this, his eyes looking downwards, hiding the brilliance in his expression. Then I'll join your group, Fang Yuan agreed on the spot, blocking Ji Bo's upcoming words. Is this Fang Yuan retarded? Ignoring those top-performing groups and joining the sickly snakes group. He must be bonkers. Jiao San's personality, he. The students and GU masters started to discuss, looking at Fang Yuan like he was a fool. The clan leaders and elders' expression turned dim. Today's probing was thwarted by this GU Jiao San. No, maybe this Jiao San is also a pawn in this game, but no matter what, they must investigate on this GU Jiao San. 3 days later, it had already been snowing for a day, and now that it was gradually getting smaller, pieces of snowflakes flew in the air gliding with the wind. On Qingmao Mountain, there was a layer of white color over it. Many branches were naked with no leaves, except the evergreen pine trees and Qingmao bamboo, which had retained their original colors standing proudly in the snow. A group of 5 people ran in the snow. The leading person was neither short nor tall, bearing a sickly yellow skin. It was GU Jiao San. As he ran, he turned towards the quiet Fang Yuan, smiling gently with kindness. Fang Yuan, don't be nervous. Although this is your first clan mission, the contents are simple. Just follow us and learn along the way. Yes, Fang Yuan lightly replied, staring forward with a solemn expression. It was already winter. Running on the snow, the chilly winter winds were even more intense. Every breath was like eating snow dust, chilling his entire chest. Fang Yuan's face was originally very white, and now that the snow shone on it, it appeared even paler. In the process of running, the snow kept falling on his short black hair, his shoulders and forehead. What was different than before was that Fang Yuan had changed his clothes. This was a dark blue-colored battle attire. The attire had long sleeves and long pants, with bamboo sheets tied on his legs as wrappings, and bamboo shoes adorned his feet. On his head there was a bright blue headband, and the headband fluttered in the air as Fang Yuan ran. On his waist, there was a loose belt. The belt was navy blue with a bronze plate on it, carved with the number 1. It was very much eye-striking. This was a GU master's attire, showing Fang Yuan's status as a rank 1 GU master. The youngsters had to stay a year in the academy and graduate before they were allowed to wear this. This attire had much meaning. Once worn, it meant that one has transcended the realm of mortals, leaving the lowly life and stepping into the upper society, being the middle class of the entire human race. Even if rank 1 GU masters were the bottom of this tier, from now on any mortal had to give way to Fang Yuan and pay respects to him. GU Jiao San's gaze continued to shine. This battle attire, when worn by Fang Yuan, coupled with his cold expression, showed the atmosphere of a cool and collected person. While running, he continued asking Fang Yuan, we are out on a mission, and normally we would have to rush when traveling, so running is a common thing. Are you used to it? I can cope. Fang Yuan's words were precious like gold, using the corner of his eye to look at GU Jiao San. Jiao San's warm and kind expression caused him to think about the legend of Ren Zhu. Words have it that Ren Zhu used the rules and regulation GU and obtained strength but lost wisdom, leaving behind 3 GU worms. One was suspicion, one was trust, and another was attitude. Ren Zhu grabbed the Attitude Gu. Attitude Gu followed the betting rules, submitting to Ren Zhu, telling him, "Human, you caught me, I can only curse my bad luck. From now on, I will be at your command. Wear me and you will be able to use my ability." Attitude Gu's appearance was like a mask. Ren Zhu put it on his face, but in the end he could not wear it. Even if he used a rope to tie it, it would still fall off. "What's going on?" Ren Zhu was troubled. Attitude Gu laughed. "I know, human, you have no heart. Attitude is the mask of the heart, so without a heart, how can you wear me?" Ren Zhu realized at once, he had already given his heart to hope. He was heartless. Someone who is heartless cannot wear the attitude mask. In other words, to someone with a heart and intention, their attitude is a mask. This kind and warm attitude is only Gu Zhao San's mask. What is his real intention? Fang Yuan pondered. While the person, sickly snake, Zhao San observed Fang Yuan was also secretly observing him. Chapter 88. Initial display of authority, picking on, and suppression. On the snow, 5 small groups were running. Gu Zhao San looked at the sky, saying, "The sky's getting dark, our mission this time is to collect permafrost decayed soil. Although it is easy, it consumes too much time. We have to speed up, everyone follow me, try not to get left behind. Fang Yuan, if you are unable to keep up, just inform us. Don't worry, you are a newcomer, we will take care of you." Gu Zhao San smiled very amicably. Fang Yuan nodded silently. The other 3 members exchanged glances. The sky was actually still bright. Zhao San had no need to say this. In reality, he wanted to give Fang Yuan an initial display of authority. The 3 knew this deep down, but did not expose him. In actuality, these kind of authoritative displays were common. When a new member joins, the older members would usually exert their authority to get rid of the younger members' arrogance so that it would be easier to command and control them. "Let's go," Zhao San said lightly, taking huge steps and being the first to rush out. Fang Yuan's gaze shone, heading out with the same speed as the other 3, following closely behind. The bamboo shoes stepped on the snow, leaving behind traces of footprints. The mountain road was full of obstacles, being difficult to maneuver. Especially with a layer of thick snow, it was even easier to fall down. At the same time, due to the snow cover, who knew if underneath it was sharp rocks or pitfalls? If one stepped into a hunter's trap, they would be even more unlucky. Living in this world was tough. Traveling seemed easy, but in fact it had much to do with experience. Many newcomers suffered due to this. Only through a long period of training, having gone through much hardship, a GU master that has accumulated much experience would be able to avoid these obstacles. The chilly winter winds blew directly towards their faces as Fang Yuan strode through the snow. At times he took small leaps, at times he ran long distances. Sometimes he sidestepped, sometimes he climbed, following closely behind Zhao San. The entire Qingmao was covered by a layer of snow coat, and many of the trees had naked branches, without a single leaf. At times, squirrels or wild deer were frightened by these people and ran away quickly. 30 minutes later, Zhao San stopped in his tracks as he had reached his destination. He turned over his head, looking at Fang Yuan, smiling, and praising, "Good job. You truly are this year's champion, following behind me and not losing your pace once." Fang Yuan smiled silently. This kind of authoritative display, he was clear of it. In fact, sprinting in the snow had become a traditional event. Many small groups used this to suppress the newcomers' arrogance. The 2 stood on the spot and waited, until the remaining 3 members arrived. Puff, puff, puff. They took deep breaths, their foreheads full of sweat, their faces red as they placed their hands on their weights, the last members plopping on the ground. Zhao San harshly stared at them, barking, "Stand straight. Haven't you embarrassed us enough? Look at Fang Yuan, then look at yourselves. HMPH, after this mission, go back and reflect on yourselves." The 3 immediately stood up straight, but lowered their heads. They were chided by Zhao San until they did not dare to raise their heads or rebuke him. Only their gaze towards Fang Yuan changed. How strange, how can this Fang Yuan be so experienced? I did not see him fall even once. Sigh, we only have normal strength, how can we compete with this monster? HMPH, not only did we not get a show to watch, we even became the sacrificial lambs. This guy. Enough, buck up. Zhao San pointed forward, this small-sized valley is our destination. Inside, there are large amounts of permafrost decayed soil for us to collect. Let's split up here and harvest the frozen earth. An hour later, we will gather here. Kong Jing, distribute the tools. Zhao San had just spoken, and the male member called Jiu Kong Jing stood up. He opened his palm wide and a yellow light shot out from the aperture in his abdomen, landing on his palm. The yellow light dispersed, showing its true form. A frog with a golden back. This golden frog was plump with a giant snow-white belly, causing its entire body to look like a ball when inflated. The frog's mouth and eyes were all at the top of its head due to this belly being squeezed into a spot. Fang Yuan's gaze shone, recognizing this Jiu worm. This was the rank 2 Jiu worm, large belly frog. Soon after, Kong Jing's hands emitted traces of red steel primeval essence, and were absorbed by the frog. Ribbit, the large belly frog screeched, opening its mouth to vomit out a steel spade. The steel spade flew in the sky, turning large quickly. In the blink of an eye, it landed on the ground, becoming a large steel spade half the size of a person. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. It called for several times, throwing up a tool each time. Eventually, the snowfield in front of everyone had 5 steel spades, and 5 wooden boxes. The wooden boxes all had 2 ropes for carrying. Jiu master feeding Jiu worms was a large burden. Thus, Jiu worms were limited in numbers. During the initial stages, it was hard to single-handedly deal with different environments, and with different intensity of troubles, Jiu masters thus often worked in groups. In a small group, there was someone doing reconnaissance, someone for offense, someone in charge of defense, someone healing, and someone as logistics support. The Jiu master who stood up, Kong Jing, was a logistics support Jiu master. He controlled this large belly frog, which was a support Jiu worm, where its belly had another space that could be used as storage space. Of course, every Jiu had its strengths and weaknesses. The large belly frog's weakness was that not only was the storage space limited, every time it vomited an item, it had to croak once, and this was irritating. Especially when a Jiu master is hiding in the battlefield, if handled poorly, it would reveal one's location. Another thing was, the large belly frog could not store Jiu worms, and it was not immune to poison, unable to store poisonous objects. After distributing the tools, each of the group members had a steel spade and a box in their hands. Let's set off. Zhao San waved his hand, leading the party into the valley. Fang Yuan held the steel spade and carried the wooden box, choosing another direction. He is after all a newbie, rushing in like that. Hee. Is the permafrost decayed soil so easy to harvest? If he cannot differentiate it, he might get normal frozen earth, wasting his efforts. The truth is, it is really difficult to differentiate. The permafrost decayed soil's color is around the same as normal frozen earth, especially under the cover of all the accumulated snow, so newbies can only dig relying on their luck. The 3 members seeing Fang Yuan's back view laughed internally. An hour later, they saw that Fang Yuan returned with an entire box of permafrost decayed soil, and were all stunned. Including Zhao San, all their wooden boxes were only half filled with permafrost decayed soil. Seeing Fang Yuan's wooden box, they were almost ashamed to show their results. It is all permafrost decayed soil. A member observed carefully and was even more shocked. Fang Yuan, how did you gather so much frozen earth? A female member could not hold in her curiosity and asked. Fang Yuan's brows raised, and the snowlight shone on his iris, showing a clear and transparent gaze. He laughed lightly. The academy elder said before, the permafrost decayed soil is a fertilizer created when the snow freezes the swamp. It has a tint of purple in the blackness, and is actually very smelly, but because it is frozen by the snow, it cannot be smelled. It is the smelly fart fatworm's food. At the same time it is also very fertile, often mixed in the soil to grow crops, fruits and vegetables. The clan sending out this mission is probably because they want to use it in the underground cave and fertilize the moon orchid flowers. His words caused the 4 to be frozen on the spot. These theories are obviously learned in the academy. But theory and reality are very difficult to be linked. Has Fang Yuan collected permafrost decayed soil before? The 3 members looked at each other in shock. Jiu Zhao San's gaze shone, saying, "Good job Fang Yuan." As he praised, his usual warm and kind smile became a little forced. Zhao San turned around, saying to the rest, "This way, our mission is completed. Everyone pass your spades and boxes to Kong Jing, and let's return." When they got back to the village, it was already afternoon. The 5 walked out of the internal affairs hall, Zhao San distributing the 6 primeval stones they earned. He got 2 pieces, while the rest of the members got 1. The primeval stones were so easily earned, so the members all broke into a smile. Fang Yuan kept his primeval stone stealthily. Only in his heart did he think, when a newcomer joins a small group, the clan would usually give a large reward for the mission as a form of supporting the newcomer. Collecting the permafrost decayed soil mission, the reward was at most 2 primeval stones, but because of me there were 3 times more. According to logic, I should have gotten more stones. If the snow sprinting was an authoritative display, then having us purposely collect the frozen soil alone was a sign of picking on me, and the distribution of primeval stones is suppression already. 1 or 2 primeval was not a concern for Fang Yuan. He was only wondering strangely, he and Gu Zhao San never had any interactions, so why was he suppressing him? Unless, an inspiration struck Fang Yuan. Chapter 89. A sickly snake coiling around the legs. The 5 stood on the walkway. Gu Zhao San laughed kindly and said to Fang Yuan, "Little brother Fang Yuan, your performance really impressed all of us. It seems we did a correct thing inviting you to join us. You have just graduated from the academy, and might be unclear of some things. Let me introduce you to them. Firstly, the clan missions, each GU master must complete at least 1 a month. The more you complete and the more perfect it is, the higher your evaluation. Secondly, the missions are distributed by the Internal Affairs Hall or the External Affair Hall, each GU master can only accept 1. Once accepted, they must complete it. Thirdly, under special conditions, a GU master may choose to abandon a mission, but that will cause their evaluation to fall greatly. At the same time, rank 1 GU masters have no rights to give up, and only rank 2 GU masters do. But they can only abandon 1 mission a year. Fourth, the clan's evaluation is very important. It concerns your future in the clan, and the higher your evaluation, the greater your future and the brighter it is. Fang Yuan listened, nodding. These things were already memorized by him. Gu Zhao San was right and did not misdirect him, but many key contents were not spoken. Alright, the permafrost decayed soils mission has just been completed. Next, I accepted a wild deer hunting mission. The danger is low, so it is suitable for you to practice. Zhao San said to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan laughed coldly in his heart, but said, "Thank you for your concern, group leader." Gu Kong Jing immediately followed up, "Little brother Fang Yuan, you should really properly thank the group leader. Although simple missions are easily completed, they have a small reward. The group leader's actions are to take care of you." The other 2 female GU masters also spoke, yeah, little brother Fang Yuan, action speaks louder than words. Why don't you thank the group leader by treating him to lunch? Little brother Fang Yuan, you just left the academy, society is complicated. Human relationship is very important. If you don't know anything, just ask us during lunch. Gu Zhao San laughed, purposely waving his hand, "Don't put him in a spot, he just left the academy, he must be tight on primeval stones." How can that be? Besides, just being the first place in the year-end exam gave him 100 primeval stones as reward, right? A female GU master purposely said, and then showed an expression of envy, "I'm really envious of you, 100 primeval stones is a huge sum even to us." Group leader, you've mistaken our little brother Fang Yuan. How can he be so stingy? Am I right, little brother Fang Yuan? Gu Kong Jing laughed heartily, as if he was very happy. Another female GU master got nearer to Fang Yuan, as if they had a close relationship, saying, "Little brother Fang Yuan, a word of advice. You can choose not to suck up to us, but the group leader, you have to. You know, our group's evaluation has a portion written by the group leader. If he says you're outstanding, you're outstanding. If he says you performed badly, it means you really performed badly." That's right, that's right. Evaluation is very important to us GU masters, we need at least an outstanding evaluation to be noticed by the higher-ups. In the future where we have sufficient achievements, we would be able to work for several years less. Kong Jing immediately followed up. Throughout the entire process, Gu Zhao San was smiling and watching. Finally he waved his hand with a kind expression and laughingly said, "Ah, don't speak nonsense. I am always impartial when writing my evaluation, and will not be easily bribed by you. But don't worry Fang Yuan, you are a newcomer, so now that you're in our group, I will take good care of your evaluation." If it were a normal teenager, they would have been led by the nose by these few people, feeling touched secretly. They are bullying a newcomer's ignorance and naivety. But Fang Yuan's iris was calm as the sea. Group leader being involved in the members' evaluation, that was the truth. This is the clan's system, giving the authority to the group leader, so that they can manage each small group. But it is not as severe as these people said. For the clan evaluation, the group leader's evaluation is only a very small portion, and it is still mostly attributed to the clan's internal affairs hall. Or rather, even if the group leader had a great influence on it, so what? Fang Yuan didn't give a damn about the evaluation. He had already decided, quickly raise his cultivation, reach rank 3, and then leave this place. He had never thought of staying in this clan for over 100 years to slog his life away. To these ignorant and lowly peasants, the evaluation was the most important thing. But to Fang Yuan, it was lower than dog shit. Thus, their somewhat threatening tone was of no use to Fang Yuan. I understand what you all have said. I still have something on, so I'll take my leave, Fang Yuan, after being quiet for a while, said. At once, the 4 GU masters showed a shocked expression. What is the meaning of this? Did you not hear what we said earlier? A female GU master stared with her eyes wide, screaming in her heart. Is your comprehension ability really okay? GU Kong Jing at this moment, really wanted to grab Fang Yuan by the collar and ask him. Zhao San's mouth twitched. Fang Yuan's indifference caused their self-directed performance to look like a joke. It made the scheme that they set up become a laughingstock. Seeing Fang Yuan turning around and walking away, the fury in his heart blazed on. Come on Fang Yuan, don't leave so quickly, don't listen to their nonsense. Zhao San controlled his temper and conjured a smile, quickly chasing up and blocking Fang Yuan. You're going to rent a house, right? Let us go with you. I have some personal relations, I am more familiar with the rental situation. I am indeed going to rent a house, I can't stay at the hostel anymore, do you have any ideas? Fang Yuan raised his eyebrows, asking calmly. I know a few houses that are considerably cheap, and with good location. Zhao San smiled, leading the way. My house, 15 primeval stones a month, no second price. PFF, renting my house with 8 primeval stones. In your dreams. You must pay a deposit, 25% deposit. Other vendors are doing this too. My house has good feng shui, and it's quiet at night. More importantly, it is facing the clan leader's pavilion, you know how good the location is. It is really cheap, only 25 primeval stones a month. All the way until night time, Fang Yuan did not find a house to stay. Little brother Fang Yuan, you're too stingy. The village is only so big, the prices are all like this. In my opinion, you should get the house near the clan leader's pavilion, the second floor is very spacious and the scenery is nice. Little brother Fang Yuan, don't be so thrifty, it is only 25 primeval stones. The reward that you got is enough for you to stay 4 months. The 2 female GU masters continued to urge him on with ill intent. Fang Yuan shook his head, I do not have many primeval stones, I cannot be wasteful. Then rent an underground apartment, it's cheaper. GU Kong Jing's eyes shone with cold brilliance, suggesting. Fang Yuan snorted in his heart, this Kong Jing has such a vile heart. The village is already high in precipitation, and now that it is winter, the underground apartments would have poor airflow, and tenants would easily catch a cold. Even if there aren't diseases, it would cause problems in the long term. Seeing that Fang Yuan kept his silence, Zhao San said, actually the big hall's first floor is good too. Co-staying with other people causes the rent to reduce as well. Fang Yuan shook his head, I want to stay alone, I do not like to stay with others. GU Kong Jing snorted, saying unhappily, you don't want this, you don't want that. I'm not trying to scold you, little brother Fang Yuan, but you're too picky and expect too much. With such high standards, it is not realistic. Fang Yuan listened, laughing coldly in his heart while thinking, even if they fulfill the criteria, I would not accept any house you recommend. His act of pacifying them was just for the sake of being careful, finding out if there are any traps. Just as Fang Yuan was about to leave, Mother Shen appeared. Young Master Fang Yuan, I finally found you. The academy can no longer be stayed at, and the old master and his wife have already prepared a banquet, specifically asking me to invite you home. Staying at home is so much better, there is no need for you to go about renting houses outside, she urged. Finally here, Fang Yuan laughed coldly in his heart, this Mother Shen really found a good time. Finding him here at once, someone must have notified her. Just as he had expected, the masterminds were his uncle and aunt. And Zhao San was the chain that his uncle and aunt created to bind him. Fang Yuan's silence looked like hesitation. Fang Yuan, why don't you stay at your uncle and aunt's house, why make life difficult? Renting a house will spend a lot of primeval stones. Gu Zhao San spoke in a concerned manner at an appropriate juncture as he looked at Fang Yuan, his eyes shining ominously. Chapter 90. it's just a little wind frost. In the hall, the lights shone brightly. On the round dining table, the wine was already cold, and the dishes were cool. The brilliant red candle flickered and danced, projecting the shadows of aunt and uncle onto the wall. The two figures' shadow combined into one, and swayed gloomily with the candlelight. In front of them, Mother Shen was kneeling. Uncle broke the silence. To think this Fang Yuan is dead bent on going against me. Sigh, I wanted to calm him down with nice words and keep him in the house first before finding a reason to chase him out of the house. To think that he did not fall for it. He has made up his mind, rejecting my invitation without a single way to negotiate. Not even taking a step into my house. Aunt gritted her teeth, her expression slightly flustered. This scoundrel is already 16 years old, so if he wants the family fortune now we cannot deny it to him. Years ago we obtained that family fortune and it was clearly recorded in the Inner Affairs Hall. Now that we cannot deny it, what shall we do now? Leave first. Uncle waved at Mother Shen to withdraw, laughing coldly. Don't be anxious. Throughout the year, I have already been planning for this. First, to get back the assets, he needs to have rank 1 middle stage cultivation. He already achieved this and is even at peak stage, and got a number 1 in the exam. That is very impressive. Hee. But, to successfully obtain his family fortune, it is not so easy. Rank 1 middle stage cultivation is only a precondition. To split the assets, Fang Yuan has to apply for it, and the Internal Affairs Hall has to approve it and send him a mission to test if he has the qualifications. This is to prevent the clan from splitting family assets nonsensically, causing internal strifes and weakening the clan. Aunt was enlightened. This means that he has to complete the mission before he can get his parents' inheritance. That's right. Uncle laughed sinisterly, but the Internal Affairs Hall's missions are sent to groups. The family asset mission will be the same. If Fang Yuan wants to complete it, he would have to rely on the group. He cannot do it alone. The family does this to make sure that the small groups stay united and increase their cohesiveness. Aunt laughed loudly. Husband, you're too smart. Getting Zhao San to recruit Fang Yuan. This way, if Fang Yuan wants to accomplish the mission, he would need their strength. But Zhao San is on our side, so Fang Yuan can never accomplish this mission. Uncle's eyes shone smugly. HMPH, even if he cannot get him into the group, I have other ways to deal with him. Not to mention completing the mission. Even if he wants to apply for the splitting of the fortune and receive the mission, it might not be possible. Nightfall arrived and the snow stopped. Fang Yuan walked on the streets. The bamboo houses along the way were all covered by a layer of white snow. The snow that he stepped on emitted a light sound. The cold air entered his respiratory system, causing Fang Yuan's brain to be extremely awake. After rejecting Mother Shen, Fang Yuan disregarded Zhao San and the group's advice and said goodbye to everyone, leaving by himself. So that's it, he walked and thought. Uncle and aunt are trying to trap and delay me, causing me to lose the chance to take back my inheritance. After the new year, I would be 16 years old and be qualified to split the assets. My parents are dead, and my brother has new parents. If I am successful, the entire inheritance is mine. But to take back the inheritance, there are 2 crucial steps, each being extremely important. The first is to apply for the mission at the Internal Affairs Hall without any other missions at hand. The second is to complete the mission to earn the rights to inherit the asset. Zhao San is in cahoots with uncle and aunt. Leaving aside the second step, he's already trying to trap me at the first step. The clan rules state that GU masters can only be on 1 mission at a time. This is to prevent GU masters from hogging and causing negative competition in the clan. Zhao San received missions consecutively. After finishing the permafrost decayed soil mission, he immediately accepted a new mission for catching wild deer. The clan's missions were all given to groups, that is to say, according to clan rules, Fang Yuan has to finish the deer capturing mission before applying for his asset splitting mission. But at that point, I believe Zhao San would just accept another new mission. As the leader, when accepting missions, he will always be a step ahead of me, causing me to be unable to accept my mission, thus always stopping me. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan's eyes shone ominously. These plots and schemes were irritating, like an invisible rope blocking Fang Yuan's progress. But Fang Yuan did not regret entering this group. At the arena, he was backed into a corner. Zhao San's invitation became a way for him to be free from the predicament. If he did not enter the team, his uncle and aunt would have other ways to deal with him. This cannot be prevented and will be hard to defend against. But now that he is in the group, he can clearly see their schemes and easily counterattack. Solving this problem, I have my ways. The easiest way is to just eliminate Zhao San, or assassinate uncle and aunt, then no one would compete with me over the family assets. But this way is too risky, they are all rank 2 GU masters and my cultivation is still too low. Even if I kill them I cannot get out of the troublesome aftermath. Unless there is a good chance for me to take advantage of, but these chances are usually by luck. Fang Yuan could kill the servant Gao Wan and could kill old man Wang, but that was because they were mortals and servants, with life cheap as grass. Killing them was akin to killing a dog or pulling off weed, it was insignificant. But assassinating GU masters is very troublesome. GU masters were all GUU clansmen, no matter which one dies, the punishment hall would investigate. Fang Yuan evaluated his own strength and knew there was too much risk in killing them now, he might even get killed. Even if he kills them, the punishment hall's investigation is even more troublesome. His future actions would be spied on and they might even find out the flower wine monk's inheritance. Attracting a much larger problem when eliminating a small problem, that is not what a wise person does. Oh, I'm here, Fang Yuan spoke lightly, stopping at a worn-out bamboo building. This bamboo building was torn and worn out, like an old man about to die, panting for his last breath in the cold harsh winter. Seeing this bamboo building, Fang Yuan's face showed a trace of reminiscence. This was the room he rented in his previous life. In his previous life, after being thrown out by his uncle and aunt, he had less than 15 primeval stones left and had to sleep in the streets for a few days before finding this place. This place was too worn out and had much lower rent than other places. In addition, while other places counted the rent by months, this place calculated it by days. I do not know about other places, whether or not they have uncle and aunt's traps. But my previous life's memories tell me that at least this place is safe. Fang Yuan rang on the door. After half an hour, he established the renting terms and was brought to the second floor by the owner. The floors were old, emitting dangerous and concerning sounds when stepped on. The room had only one bed, and a blanket. The blanket had many patches but was still riddled with some holes, and the yellow cotton wadding leaked out from inside. The head of the bed had an oil lamp. The landlord left after lighting the lamp. Fang Yuan did not sleep, but sat on the bed and started cultivating. As his primeval sea raged on in the aperture, every drop of primeval essence was black-green. The aperture's 4 walls were a white crystal color, in a translucent state. Rank 1 peak stage. Suddenly, the green-bronze primeval sea started to have currents, like wild beasts raging and suiciding towards the 4 aperture walls. Bam bam bam. The huge waves crashed onto the aperture walls, causing the little ripples to break into small droplets before dissipating. After a while, the 44% primeval essence sea was quickly expended, with large amounts of primeval essence used up. On the sturdy aperture walls, there was lines of cracks. But just cracks were not enough. Fang Yuan wanted to break through rank 1 peak stage and reach rank 2, thus he needed to break this aperture wall completely, evolving through its destruction. Black-green primeval essence continued to attack the crystal wall, and the cracks increased, forming a giant piece. At some places, the cracks were even deeper, forming very evident lines. As he used up the primeval essence, he did not continue to use primeval essence to attack, and the crystal walls started to heal, causing the cracks to vanish. Fang Yuan was not surprised, collecting his spirits and opening his eyes. The oil lamp had gone out already. There was not much oil anyway. The room was dark, with only the window providing a little bit of light through the crack. The room had no fire pit and was not warm. Fang Yuan had sat on the bed for a long time without moving, and felt that the chilliness had intensified. His dark iris fused with the darkness. To break through Zhao San's lock, there is an easier and safer method. That is to advance to rank 2. Rank 1 GU masters have no right to give up on missions, but rank 2 GU masters can do it once a year. If I advance to rank 2, I can give up on my mission and apply for the asset splitting. But to break through to rank 2, it is not an easy task. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan sighed. Coming down from his bed, he strolled around in the tiny room. From initial stage to middle stage to upper stage, these are all small realms. From rank 1 peak stage to rank 2 initial stage, that is breaking through a large realm. Between these two cases there was an extremely different difficulty. Simply put, to break the crystal wall, it needed explosive strength, forming a strong impact in a short time to smash the wall. But Fang Yuan only had C-grade talent, and the primeval C is only at 44%. If he used his entire force to attack the wall, his primeval essence would be used up immediately. Just like earlier, after his primeval essence was exhausted, he would no longer have the strength to continue. And the wall had recovery ability, so before long, it would heal up. Whatever Fang Yuan did earlier would have been wasted. Breaking the wall and reaching rank 2 without special situations, one needs 55% black-green primeval essence. But my talent is limited, having only 44%, thus people say that talent is the key in a GU master's cultivation. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan slowed in his steps. Unknowingly, he had moved to the window, thus he opened the windows casually. Every gust of wind shook the bamboo lattice window, and when opened the snow-covered mountain greets one's eye. 1. Under the moonlight, the snow was like white jade, spreading out and letting the world resemble a crystal palace before one's eyes, untainted by dust. The snowlight shone onto Fang Yuan's youthful features. His expression was peaceful and calm, his brow smooth, his pair of orbs looking like the ancient spring underneath the moon. As the cold winds blew onto his face, the young man laughed. It is merely a small bit of wind frost too. Chapter 91. Fang Yuan, we're very worried about you. It was a night without sleep, and once day came, Fang Yuan stepped out of the room and started to purchase stuff wantonly. The room was poorly furnished and the blankets were torn. If he lived there for long, the chill would enter his body and cause him to get sick. Fang Yuan's primeval stones were already half used up, but he still had to purchase the necessary equipment. He could not scrimp on these things. Firstly was a blanket, he had to get a large blanket stuffed with cotton, or at least 2. He also needed bed sheets and a mattress. He needed another oil lamp so that it could illuminate the room, and he needed at least 2 pots of lamp oil. Thinking about it, although the room was small, it could still hold a table and a chair, thus he bought those as well. Most importantly, it was a stove. In the winter, if he did not have a stove to warm himself when sleeping in the room, he would still get shocked awake by the cold. Other than these, he also bought some dry rations and some water to last around 7 days' worth. The winter sun slowly rose, giving out languid rays of light. Gu Zhao San and the other Gu masters stood at the north door of the village, waiting anxiously. Something's not right. Last night we agreed to meet at this time and place. But it has already been 15 minutes, and this Fang Yuan still hasn't shown up. A female Gu master asked. Calm down and just wait. It is inevitable that a newcomer is late, Zhao Sao laughed. He had been fretting over not having any reasons to fault Fang Yuan with, but to think he faltered on the second day. Never mind that we are waiting. Even the group leader has to wait for him, this lad thinks too much of himself. Gu Kong Jing complained, his tone indignant. Half an hour later, Fang Yuan was still nowhere to be found. Zhao San's face was darker than night. This scumbag, did he remember the wrong location? We said clearly that we are meeting at the northern door, Kong Jing said suspiciously. I'll wait here, you guys go look around the different doors, Zhao San instructed, and the 3 obliged. 15 minutes later, they returned with no fruit. Did this Fang Yuan see through our ploy and left the group directly? A female Gu master asked. You think too highly of him. Even if he is the first place in the year-end exam, he is still a young newbie. His age is apparent, Kong Jing said. Zhao San's face was grim, it is secondary to whether he has seen through us. The crucial thing is to find him now. I am afraid that he has left us behind and is trying to break through to rank 2 on his own. Once he reaches rank 2, he can abandon this mission and apply for the splitting of assets from the Internal Affairs Hall. Find him, go and find him. The village is only so big and there are only that many rental houses, we must find him and not give him the time to break through to rank 2. Yes. In the room, Fang Yuan sat on the bed. In front of him were a few money bags, and inside them was all primeval stones. Not enough primeval stones, Fang Yuan sighed, his expression grim. Primeval stones are the driving force behind a GU master's advancement, and if they are lacking, the GU masters would need to rely on their own recovery speed for primeval essence, which would greatly reduce their cultivation speed. At the same time, without sufficient food, the GU worms would die of hunger. Fang Yuan's primeval stones, during his time at the academy, it had reached the peak of being slightly above 1,000. But it could not stand up to the expenditure over time. A same stage GU master up till now, only has 3 GU worms. But Fang Yuan, after getting number 1 in the year-end exam, entered the GU hall and chose another little light GU for free. He must choose, for if he gave up, it would invite suspicion. Like this, he had 7 GU worms on hand. Undeniably, this was a huge financial burden. If this continues, I can only hold out for 2 months. I must get back my family assets, that is the greatest financial support. But to get them back, the first step is to advance to rank 2. Fang Yuan's gaze was dark. To Fang Yuan, advancing to rank 2 was not easy. For a GU master's cultivation, first was resources, second was talent. Without talent, the path of cultivation would be difficult and their accomplishments in the future would be lower. Talent is split according to D, C, B and a grade. But this is only a rough distribution. In fact, every grade has another specific differentiation. Taking a C grade for example, the primeval essence storage in the aperture would be around 40 to 59%. Fang Yuan's primeval essence was 44%, so in the C grade range, he was only middle-lower class. Rushing to rank 2, he needed at least 55% black-green primeval essence. To an A and B grade GU master, this was not difficult, and to the 55-59% C grade GU masters, they could pass as well. Thus, for C grade GU masters, once they reach a certain accumulation, most of them would advance to rank 2. Only very few can attain rank 3. Thus, the talent could determine most people's achievements in their lives. Fang Yuan being given the cold shoulder, he could not blame the people for being biased. Although my C grade talent is only 44%, if I want to break the wall and reach a new height, attaining rank 2, it is still not impossible. The easiest way is to find a talent-raising GU worm. Secondary, I can get a support-type GU like the liquor worm, and that can help to break the barrier as well. Lastly, I can attain the help of a higher-ranking GU master, but using external primeval essence has a huge backlash, unless I can get the cleansing GU in future to eliminate the external presence. Fang Yuan thought about it while using both hands to take out a primeval stone, using his fingers to rub the smooth surface of the stone. But the above methods are not recommended for me. I do not have any friendly GU master to help, and even if I do I will not let my aperture be at their mercy. GU worms like the liquor worm are too rare, even getting the liquor worm was my extreme luck. As for talent-raising GU worm, I got it in my previous life and attained rank 6 cultivation, and I also know where to find them, but I cannot go to those places now with my current cultivation. Even if I get them, I cannot keep them, or even use them. But other than these methods, there is a final most stupid method. Using primeval stones to force it. Thinking so, Fang Yuan's eyes flashed as he gripped the primeval stone tightly. GU master cultivation, first was resources, second was talent. Without sufficient talent, one can compensate using resources to a degree. My primeval essence is only 44%, I do not have enough to break the aperture walls. But if I absorb primeval essence while attacking the walls, I can hold on much longer, and in about 4 to 5 days, I would be able to smash the walls. Making up his mind, Fang Yuan opened his eyes, his heart sinking into his aperture. Green copper primeval sea raged on as the waves crashed into the aperture walls. But this time, to prevent his primeval essence from drying up and becoming insufficient to maintain the cracks and causing the aperture to recover, Fang Yuan purposely slowed the attacking speed. This way, the green bronze primeval essence expenditure would be greatly reduced, but the crack formation would also slow down. Despite so, Fang Yuan continued to absorb the natural essence of the primeval stones. Primeval essence recovery has to be slightly above the crack recovery speed. This way, even if it is slow, showing less than 1% progress, there would be hope as time passes. The only thing about this method would be that other than eating and shitting, Fang Yuan had to cultivate non-stop. The more time he wasted, the more primeval stones would go down the drain and the more his hard work would squander. He could stop for a maximum of 15 minutes, and after that if there isn't any primeval essence to continue attacking, the aperture would fully recover. Thus, once the attack began, he had to persevere until he succeeded, and cannot be disturbed. Once he stopped for too long, he would have to restart the process. Fang Yuan did not have so many primeval stones on hand to do it multiple times. Time flies when cultivating, and in the blink of an eye, the sun set. Under the setting sun, Zhao San with a cold expression said, "After finding for a day, you still haven't found him." "No, group leader." Kong Jing wiped the sweat off his forehead and said, "That lad, he did not go to any of the houses we recommended, we have no idea where he is hiding." HMPH. Continue searching tomorrow, we have to find him. Remember to search the inn as well, I do not believe that we cannot find him. The village is only so big, no matter where he is hiding, there has to be a trace. Zhao San walked away in fury. Until the afternoon of the second day, their search finally bore fruit. A female GU master walked to Zhao San excitedly, reporting, "Found him, found him. Fang Yuan is at a worn-out bamboo building, and has rented the second floor." According to the owner's description, it should be him. HMPH, as I expected, he really hid himself and is trying to break through to rank 2. Zhao San laughed sinisterly. Let's go and make ourselves guests in his room and show him some concern. He is a newcomer after all. He. The others also started smirking. The four immediately came to Fang Yuan's residence. There was a paper on the door. Zhao San took it down and read it. It was Fang Yuan's handwriting, saying that he needed to go into closed-door cultivation for a few days and will not leave, as he would be attempting to break through to rank 2. If others saw it, they should not disturb him. If Zhao San saw it, it was a request of absence application. Zhao San snorted, throwing the paper away. How can I let you advance to rank 2 so successfully? He laughed coldly, knocking on the door. Knock knock knock. Little brother Fang Yuan, are you here? He purposely said loudly, we are here to see you. How could you not tell us about your closed-door cultivation, seriously? There was no reply. Knock knock knock. Zhao San knocked loudly. Little brother Fang Yuan, it's not that I want to nag at you. But you are making decisions on your own. Now that you are our group member, you should listen to instructions and obey orders, moving together. We have already accepted the wild deer hunting mission. This is specifically for you to train, so why don't you stop first and complete the mission with us, then cultivate. Zhao San's eyes squinted as he said in a gentle tone, although his expression was dark. There was still no reply. Zhao San suddenly raised his voice, little brother Fang Yuan, why are you not replying? Did something happen to you? It is not so easy breaking through to rank 2, you can ask us for experience. Fang Yuan, did you hear me? Oh no, could it be that you fainted? Zhao San talked to himself, smirking coldly, but his voice was full of concern and anxiety. The other 3 members observed the show. Kong Jing interrupted at an appropriate timing. Leader, you might be right, Fang Yuan hasn't responded after so long, let's go in and save him. Fang Yuan, quickly open the door. We're really worried if you keep silent. If you don't open the door, we will break in. You are our newest member, we cannot let you be in danger. Zhao San shouted loudly. Still, there was no reply. Zhao San's mouth curled, indicating to Kong Jing. Kong Jing acknowledged and raised his foot. With a loud bam sound, the entire door was sent flying, crashing onto the bed. Chapter 92. The future is in sight. Hang in there Fang Yuan, we're coming to help you. Zhao San shouted with a concerned expression, taking huge steps into the room. But the next moment, he was dumbfounded. The room was empty, Fang Yuan was not inside. The 4 became silent. How can this be? Where is he? Zhao Sao broke the silence, saying frustratingly. He performed outside the room for such a long time, but it turned out to be a one-man performance as Fang Yuan was never inside. The 3 looked at each other, not expecting such a result. This is weird, if Fang Yuan isn't here, why would he paste that paper on the door? Kong Jing said carefully. Get the landlord here now. Zhao Sao raised his foot and sent the door flying. You looking for me? HMPH, I was just about to find you. Coming to my house and raising a huge ruckus, even breaking down my door. Young man, you sure are capable. The landlord was an old man, but his tone was very firm. Being able to own additional houses in the GUU village and renting it out, he was obviously a GU master. A GU master's strength and status supersedes a mortal. Mortals do not dare to operate such a business. In fact, they do not own property. The entire village's property is owned by the GUU clan. The mortals who live here are the farmers and servants of the clan. Senior, we are here to find a young man, he is our group member. Facing the landlord, Zhao San controlled his temper. An old GU master like the landlord, even if he is old and no longer striving for his career, he still has strong relationships and connections. Even if he is retired, his ability is still not to be underestimated. Those without human relationships and trump cards, how would they dare to do business? This is not a peaceful era, it is full of violence and plunder. The landlord shook his head, his tone rigid. I do not care about my tenant's whereabouts, but I do know that you broke my door. You need to compensate me. Hee, this is our fault, it is only right that we compensate you, Zhao Sao laughed dryly. Although he was furious inside, he still forced himself to compensate some primeval stones and even gave some extra. The landlord's expression turned slightly better. If the young man who rented this room is who you are finding, then I must tell you that he has not turned in for a day. After paying a month's rent, he bought a huge amount of things yesterday and asked me which place sold coal cheaply. I told him that there was no need to buy coal, as there is a valley outside the village towards the north. A mine is situated there where he can excavate the coal. After thanking me, he left and never returned. So that's it. Zhao San looked at the decorations in the room. Indeed, the mattress and bedding was new. The table and chairs were old goods bought by Fang Yuan that were seemingly firm. The stove was empty, it indeed did not have coal. Zhao San breathed out slowly, being at ease. It seems Fang Yuan was delayed by excavating coal. Never mind, let's come again tomorrow. He walked out of the room first. But on the third day, Fang Yuan still did not show up. Zhao San and the others stood outside the room, hesitant. Digging for coal, it does not need so much time. Fang Yuan wants to do closed-door cultivation, so maybe he dug more. But it's been so long, could something have happened to him while he was excavating? Kong Jing conjured. Zhao San nodded unnoticeably, pointing towards the bed and stove. This lad is very stingy. He paid a month's rent all of a sudden and even bought so many things, and especially pasting that paper on the wall, he probably wanted to cultivate here. Too bad he was unlucky. These days the wolf hordes have gotten bigger, and the wild beasts around the village have gotten more active. He might have encountered some wild beasts. Leader is wise, the two female GU masters said at the same time, flattering him. Zhao San laughed while raising his head. Ha ha ha, I was still fretting over how to deal with him. Though we have that deer-catching mission, let's not rush out to do it. If we meet him in the wilds, we are forced to save him, right? He. The other three members started laughing. Day 4. In the aperture, waves of black-green primeval essence hit against the crystal walls relentlessly. The translucent white crystal wall was already full of cracks, crisscrossing each other. This is Fang Yuan's result after working hard non-stop for 3 days and 3 nights. At most, when he really could not take it anymore, he would quickly take a meal and settle his bowels. These days, Fang Yuan had purposely slowed the wave-crashing process, and at the same time he drew more primeval essence from his primeval stones. Thus, after such a long time, the green copper primeval sea had only dropped from the 44% limit to around 20%. As time passed, when there was only about 13% primeval essence left, the wall could no longer hold up, and had reached its limit. Crack crack. The originally sturdy crystal wall broke into pieces, and the fragments fell into the primeval sea, causing ripples and waves. After that, it turned into white dots and vanished into thin air. What replaced the crystal wall was a brand new white light wall. This was the rank 2 light wall. Although there was not much difference and it still emitted white light, it was much more glimmering than the rank 1 light wall. At the same time, traces of red primeval essence were produced in the sea and it mixed around with the black-green primeval sea in the aperture. This was the rank 2 initial stage red steel primeval essence. Finally I did it, I broke through to rank 2. Fang Yuan opened his eyes abruptly, the room immediately brightening up. But a second later, a strong wave of nausea hit him. I went through 4 days and 3 nights of non-stop cultivating, it is too intense and my body is going to collapse soon. Fang Yuan laughed bitterly, slowly lying down. My cultivation was not disturbed at all, it seems that my setup at the rental house had worked. It was worth spending this sum. Next I shall rest well for the night and return to the village tomorrow. Thinking of this, intense sleepiness assaulted him. Fang Yuan forced his eyes to stay open and used his intense will to cover himself with the blanket. After closing his eyes, in a few seconds, he fell soundly asleep. The cultivation earlier had used up most of his spirit. He slept until the afternoon of the second day. Fang Yuan opened his eyes, feeling his spirit recovering to around half, but he was still feeling weakness in his body. He opened the door, walking out of the room for the first time in 5 days. This attracted a person. This person had slim long eyes with a thin body, it was Zhang Ya's brother Zhang He. Seeing Fang Yuan, he exhaled in relief, saying, "You're finally out. HMPH, I would have broken into the room if you still did not come out after the next few days. After all, if you die here, I'd be held responsible." Fang Yuan laughed but did not say anything. The winter sunlight broke through the window, shining onto his face, amplifying the trace of pale white weakness on his features. 5 days ago, he purposely asked the landlord and gave Zhao San the clues of his coal story. After that he left the Guu village and went to the hamlet at the mountain foot. Because of old man Wang previously, Zhang He was half an alliance mate of his. Using this relationship, Fang Yuan stayed a few days in the village and advanced to rank 2 without any interruption. Of course, the rock crack secret cave was much more elusive than Zhang He's place, but it was not completely safe. Fang Yuan had to consider the possibility of Zhao San and the others relentlessly finding him, and might find the rock crack secret cave. Although chances were slim, if the flower wine monk's inheritance was found out, Fang Yuan's life would be in danger. Fang Yuan was a very cautious person, and he naturally would not take such risks. At the same time, it was safer at Zhang He's place. Even if they had a shared secret, Zhang He would not kill him to silence him. The risks and troubles of killing a GU master was too great. Without sufficient benefits, Zhang He had no motivation to do it. In fact, to preserve the secret, Zhang He would even have to worry about Fang Yuan's safety. After all, if the clan's punishment hall investigates Fang Yuan's death, they might find out about old man Wang's secret. Seeing Fang Yuan safe, Zhang He was really relieved. But quickly, he felt the aura of Fang Yuan and his expression changed. To think that you really succeeded, reaching rank 2 in one go. He was shocked in his heart. 5 days ago when Fang Yuan approached him and stated his intentions, he was actually feeling disdainful in his heart. Absorbing the primeval essence from the primeval stones and breaking through to rank 2, this kind of multitasking method was very draining on the spirit. Normally speaking, GU masters needed a very strong will, patience and years of cultivating experience. Only with the experience, a GU master could treat the extraction of primeval essence from the stones as an instinct. At the same time, manipulating the primeval sea skillfully and causing the impact to be controlled at a degree, and it had to be perfectly calculated, just enough to match the recovery rate of the primeval essence so that the process could be sustained. In Zhang He's opinion, Fang Yuan had no chance of success. But to think, he did it in one go. Fang Yuan laughed indifferently. I was lucky. I plan to return to the village today, but before that, it would be nice if I can have a meal. He, little brother Fang Yuan, since you're here, of course I'm taking care of your meals. Zhang He patted his chest, his attitude even more friendly than before. Although he did not think well of Fang Yuan's future, but now that he has advanced to rank 2, it meant that he had gone through a difficult hurdle and has the qualifications to be on par with him now. After a scrumptious meal, Zhang He brought Fang Yuan to the entrance of the small village personally. Little brother Fang Yuan, be careful this time. Recently the wolf nest area has gotten slightly fiercer, causing the wild beasts to become more active. It is snowing. Zhang He paused, then continued, my opinion is, don't go now. How about you stay here for another night? After Fang Yuan reached rank 2, he became really friendly. But Fang Yuan was insistent on leaving, thus saying goodbye to Zhang He. The snowflakes fell calmly, just like pure white fur that was floating down slowly. The light of the setting sun turned the snow into a golden yellow. Flake by flake, the snow drifted onto Fang Yuan's head and shoulders. In the far distance, the Guu village stood upright over the mountain waste, watching over quietly. Chapter 93. Small Beast Horde. Run faster, don't fall behind. The clansmen in front are fighting a bloody battle, they are waiting for our backup. Follow closely, or you will easily lose your direction in the midst of battle at night. Newcomers better pay special attention. On the way back to the village, there would be a 5-man group from time to time running hurriedly past Fang Yuan's side. Did something happen? He had not walked for more than 500 meters when Fang Yuan saw the 13th group. He could not help but contemplate, but to be quite honest, with 500 years worth of memories it was just too superfluous and messy. Mentioning this, although Fang Yuan was reborn, he had never given up any of his old memories. Yet, much of his memories were enshrouded in a layer of thick fog, and if he tried to retrieve them by force, he would only get lost in the fog, getting more losses than benefits. Only a few deep and powerful memories that were like sparkling and translucent pearls ran through his previous life's 500 years like a connected thread. It was evident that what was happening right now was in fact not in any of these pearls. The life of his in the Guu village was just the beginning of the preceding period, it was just way too long ago. Besides, there's a possibility that this never happened in my previous life, but because of my change, a butterfly effect happened and caused changes to the surroundings. Just like that, he walked while pondering. Subconsciously, Fang Yuan reached the northern gate of the village. By chance, there was another group about to set off. On seeing Fang Yuan, only one person from this group stopped in his tracks. Fang Yuan, why are you still here? What's wrong? Fang Yuan raised his eyes and looked at this person. It was no other than his fellow schoolmate, Guu Kai Cheng. Kai Cheng immediately frowned and said, oh geez, you still don't know yet. There's been a small-scale beast tide that formed near the village. If we let it be, it will slowly become a big-scale beast tide. When that happens the villages at the foot of the mountain will be crushed. Without those lowly mortals and slaves, we'd also be in a difficult position sometimes. Oh, so it's like this. Fang Yuan's gaze flashed. Being reminded like this, he was able to remember that such a thing did happen in his memories. In this world, it was hard for humanity to survive. Every few years a beast tide would happen. Humans need resources and living space. This is no different from wild beasts and insects, they also needed such things. To explain the beast tide as a war between wild beasts and humanity, perhaps this will be easier to understand. Taking Qingmao Mountain for example, every 3 years there would be a large-scale wolf tide that attacks each of the big mountain villages. According to my calculations, the real outburst of the wolf tide will happen next year. However, this small-scale beast tide is a subsidiary of that. The wolf group will continue growing stronger and bigger, and this will cause the other beast groups around the area to lose their living space. As this effect accumulates, when it reaches the maximum limit, it will cause the migration of beast groups. Migrating beast groups will naturally influence other beast groups. Under such an intertwined influence, there is a chance that the influence would be expanded and cause all sorts of beast groups to relocate, causing the beast tide to be formed from this matter. If this problem is not controlled in time, the tide would only get bigger. Although it is still unable to endanger the existence of the Guu village, if we leave it alone, the village's power would be greatly reduced. Wait, if this is the case There was a sudden flash in his eyes, but Fang Yuan promptly cast his gaze down, hiding away the change in his eyes. Seeing that Fang Yuan had not said anything, Kai Cheng continued to speak. At the present time, the Internal Affairs Hall and External Affairs Hall have both already given out the order to mobilize. They proclaimed this as an urgent mission. Fang Yuan, don't you think of goofing off. Your group has already left in the morning, you must also go. But, as he spoke up to this point, Kai Cheng purposely dragged out his intonation. Danger lurks everywhere during a beast wave. All kinds of wild beasts roam about, and most of all a battle in the night is way more dangerous than the day. You're just a small little rank 1 GU master, unlike a rank 2 like me, you should be careful. As he said this, he purposely held his head high and puffed his chest out, stroking his own belt, his expression joyfully satisfied and proud. His belt was no longer the green-colored rank 1 belt, but a rank 2 GU master's red-colored belt. At the same time on top of the metal plate on the belt, there was a 2 word. It was thanks to his grandfather Guu Kai Lian's help that he ascended to rank 2 not long ago. I just heard about this news, but since this is the case. Fang Yuan suddenly smiled and said, then I'll follow you guys and set out together. Once on the front lines I'll leave the team and return to mine. What? Who wants to bring you? Kai Cheng folded his arms, his mouth twitching disdainfully. Fang Yuan's tone was distant. The clan rule states, GU masters that are left behind must merge into the closest group to their location, they have an obligation to continue fighting. Kai Cheng, you don't even know this point. You, Kai Cheng glared, just about to flare up. Indeed, this is the case. Kai Shan, who had been watching quietly, finally spoke. His body stature was close to 2 meters tall, and his figure was powerful and strong. His upper body was bare, the muscles hard and tough like metal. His entire body was covered in fiery red skin that seemed to faintly emit hot air. Undoubtedly, he was the leader of this group. Seeing him speak, even Kai Cheng, who was the Kai faction's inheritor, kept his mouth shut. Kai Shan expressionlessly looked at Fang Yuan, continuing, let us depart, you keep up. His voice was low and deep, his words short and simple. There was an aura of him that caused people to hardly question him. Fang Yuan shrugged nonchalantly, taking it as agreeing. Kai Cheng laughed coldly, his gaze harboring malicious intentions as he looked at Fang Yuan, speaking in an emphasized, peculiar tone, then you had better keep up. Fang Yuan did not reply to him. HMPH, why do we have to drag him around? Just a rank 1 GU master. Kai Cheng mumbled to himself angrily, but since he was hindered by Kai Shan's authority, he did not dare act impudent. At once, a group of 6 people set out from the entrance, following the mountain road and running down the slope. Guu Kai Shan took the lead. He may be big-sized, but his speed was also not slow. Besides him and Kai Cheng, there were also 2 men and 1 female, their facial expressions indifferent. As they ran, Kai Shan's group started to display the graceful bearing of being one of the 3 strongest groups. Each of them had rhythmic breathing, their footsteps fast and easy. Only Kai Cheng seemed to be in a difficult situation, but he would use his scarlet pill cricket GU from time to time, catching up reluctantly. Yet it could also be seen that he had received good teaching, for although he often staggered along the way, at least he never fell down. When they reached the mountain foot, with one hand gesture from Kai Shan, the group swiftly stopped in their tracks. Huff huff. Kai Cheng had fallen behind by 300 meters, and he was the last to catch up. His face was pale and he panted heavily, his gaze inconceivable as he looked at Fang Yuan. During the journey Fang Yuan had always been following tightly behind, and up till now his breathing was only slightly heavy. He did not look the least bit like a newcomer who just graduated. Kai Cheng, remember, regulate your physical strength, Kai Shan looked back and advised Kai Cheng. Then he swept his gaze past Fang Yuan, his eyes showing a hint of craze. The looks that the other few group members gave towards Fang Yuan had also softened a little. We will be nearing the beast tied down there. Kai Cheng and Fang Yuan, come towards the middle of the team. Kai Shan looked at the pitch-black mountain forest before him as he spoke. This sentence let Fang Yuan re-evaluate Kai Shan. This huge boulder of a man sure had tolerance. The middle of a group is often the safest spot. Although Fang Yuan was not a person of the Mo bloodline, Kai Shan still maintained the manner of protecting a newcomer. To compare him to the sickly snake Zhao San, the latter would immediately pale in comparison. The sky had already become completely dark, and the black clouds were in layers, causing the accumulated snow to also become dark and gloomy. Kai Shan's group had already changed their group formation. Their speed dropped greatly as they ran slowly through the complicated terrain of the mountain forest. Fang Yuan and Kai Cheng were in the middle part of the group, where on the left side was the huge Kai Shan, while the right side was an old man. Behind them was a young woman with a head of watery blue-colored long hair. And in front of them was a male GU master called Kai Shi. He was the reconnaissance GU master of this group, and he gave out hissing noises. From time to time he would stick his tongue out into the air. Right now his tongue had a small divide in between, becoming the bright red forked tongue of a snake. As they entered deeper into the mountain forest, their surroundings started to show wild beasts violently running about wildly. Suddenly Kai Shi opened his mouth and spoke, "Before us, 3 medium-sized animals have appeared. Suspected to be wild deer. Drive it away." Kai Shan's expression was unchanging as he immediately gave the order. The 6-man group did not change their direction, they continued pursuing forward. 3 wild deer appeared before them, quickly changing their direction and dispersing. Not long after, Kai Shi's expression changed. A group of medium-sized creatures. Suspected to be turtleback apes. "Shift," Kai Shan said. The small group immediately broke to the left side, bypassing this group of troublesome apes. This was the benefit of having a reconnaissance GU master, he was able to anticipate and inform earlier, letting them make accurate decisions from it. Kai Shi is probably using the snake tongue GU. This rank 2 GU worm can sense heat temperatures. But it has 3 very obvious flaws. Firstly, the perception radius is small, secondly it is easily interfered with. Thirdly it cannot detect cold-blooded creatures. Yet no matter what, it is better than not having any detection. I have reached rank 2 now, and in future to survive in the wild, I will also need a detection type of GU, Fang Yuan thought. Suddenly Kai Shi urgently spoke, "A middle-sized creature, suspected to be a white tiger. It's found us and is quickly approaching. Engage." Kai Shang's tone was calm and collected. Roar! A fierce tiger jumped out from the thicket in front of them, and the group met it head-on. Without Kai Shi's warning in advance, perhaps they would be caught unprepared. But right now, the group had long anticipated. Firstly, the old GU master on the right suddenly drummed up his cheeks and then spit out a white-colored, viscous substance. The substance abruptly expanded in midair, becoming a huge spider net. It used its strong viscosity and trapped the white tiger full in the face. The white tiger struggled fiercely in the net, and Kai Shan immediately stepped forward and brandished his fist, pounding onto the tiger's head. His fist had a golden luster flashing through, and with a bang, the tiger's head was smashed into pieces. The white tiger died in one breath. The group did not stop to stay behind, but instead walked over the tiger's body and continued forward. Kai Shi took Kai Shan's place again and ran in front, taking the lead. Through the entire process it was like moving clouds and flowing water. All the group members displayed mutual understanding. That entire process did not take more than 3 seconds. If it was me right now who was taking on that tiger alone, I would need at least 5 minutes to contend with. Fang Yuan's gaze was flashing. These GU masters were also rank 2 like him, but the main disparity was still GU worms. They all used rank 2 GU worms, and this enabled them to bring out the best in each other. However, all the GU in Fang Yuan's hands were still rank 1. GU Master, the word GU is before the word Master, signifying that GU worms have a huge impact on a GU Master's fighting power. 1. Although I have advanced to rank 2, I still need to have rank 2 GU to be able to display the fighting power of a rank 2 GU master. However, right now I do not have many primeval stones on me. I have used up a huge portion from breaking into rank 2. Refining 2 GU worms together will also use up a considerable amount of primeval stones. As Fang Yuan thought of this, Kai Shi, who was in front of him, suddenly said, "I found the sickly snakes group." Chapter 94. Suddenly withdrawing strength. Found the sickly snake group in front. They are currently contesting with a large-sized wild beast. Only half a second later, Kai Shi said again, this time more specific. "What's the situation?" Kai Shan frowned. There's no mistake. Kai Shi's snake tongue continued to stretch and shrink. Zhao San's red lava python is the only one in the entire village, and now they are fighting against Wild Boar King. Everyone's expression changed. Wild Boar King, if the first want to combine GU worms, I require the Wild Boar's tusks. Undoubtedly, the Wild Boar King's tusks are the most suitable. Fang Yuan's heart stirred, and in actuality he had the intention to kill the Wild Boar King from the start. That Wild Boar King? Watery blue hair female GU master raised her brows. Other than that one, there is no other in the vicinity. But relying on just the strength of the sickly snake group to reap the Wild Boar King, their appetite is too big. The old GU master sneered in disdain. If old man Wang could grasp the terrain of the mountain himself, these rank 2 GU masters who were always roaming around on Qingmao Mountain would obviously be more familiar with it. Not eliminating the Wild Boar King before this, they had their reasons. Kai Shan pondered, then said, "Go support them." "Hee, I'm afraid they might not reciprocate." The old GU master laughed coldly. "Even if we do not go and support them, we still have to send someone over, right?" Kai Cheng looked at Fang Yuan, saying in an unhappy tone. The team's direction steered towards the left. Although Kai Shan and the rest always looked down and did not like Gu Zhao San, but as clansmen, towards outside foes, even if they had amnesty normally, they would group up and work together. This is the cohesiveness of a clan in this world. And especially relying on this cohesiveness could a 100-year-old clan sustain itself without dying out, even becoming a 1,000-year-old clan. Everyone moved through the jungle in the darkness, heading towards a low-lying land. Sickly snake group's 4 GU masters were surrounding the Wild Boar King, engaging in fierce combat. In the center, the elephant-like Wild Boar King was fighting with a thin and long red-colored python. This red giant python had dark red rock pieces all over its body, the temperature very high. It was like a thick chain coiling around the Wild Boar King. The Wild Boar King cried out angrily, constantly rolling on the ground, its snow-white tusks piercing the darkness and drawing cold light in the air. Its body was full of big and small injuries, its tail already broken. While flipping around, it revealed its fresh red injuries, stuck to the red lava python's body and scalded by the high temperature. The Kai Shan group did not get closer, but observed from a distance. Taking a few looks, the old GU master was enlightened. "I say, how did the sickly snake have this courage? Looks like the Wild Boar King was actually injured already. Tisk, he sure picked up the cheap goods, this scoundrel got lucky. Do you guys think that this Wild Boar King's body would have the Black Boar GU?" Kai Cheng excitedly said with glowing eyes. Fang Yuan's expression was unchanged as he watched silently. At this time, Zhao San and his gang also realized the situation of being watched, and immediately the support GU master Gu Yukong Jing, who was the furthest away from the Wild Boar King, left the battlefield and ran over. "Oh, it is Lord Kai Shan. There's no problems here now, we can handle it. There are many wild beast groups in front, they need your support." Kong Jing said to the people. "HMPH, what do you mean you can handle it? You're clearly lying through your teeth. I can see that this python isn't going to hang in there much longer." The old GU master's experienced gaze revealed the situation at once. "You're just afraid of us wanting to split the rewards after helping." The watery blue long-haired female GU master immediately pointed out Zhao San and his gang's intention. "This Wild Boar King is yours," Kai Shan said, looking at the old GU master. The old GU master snorted, but he still bent down, vomiting out a piece of white sticky spider web. The spider web expanded in the air and spread out, enveloping the Wild Boar King. The Wild Boar King struggled intensely in the web, breaking threads after threads, but it could not get free quickly. During this period, sickly snake Zhao San quickly got the red lava python to retreat. After that, together with the healing female GU master in the group, they underwent emergency battle healing on the python. In the fierce battle earlier, the red lava python's rock body already had some cracks. Through the healing, the cracks mended, shrinking until they disappeared. Fang Yuan, you should go back. You still want to depend on our group? Kai Cheng said in annoyance. Fang Yuan took a step out and walked out from behind Kai Shan. Ji Yu Kong Jing was blocked by Kai Shan's huge body earlier and did not see him. At the moment when he saw Fang Yuan, his expression turned weird. Zhao San turned his head around and upon seeing Fang Yuan, was overjoyed at once. Fang Yuan, you're finally here. Quick, the spider web is not going to hold, you have huge strength, go and restrain the wild boar king and buy us time. We need time to heal the red lava python. Without a defensive GU and only with rank 1 cultivation, getting close to the wild boar king was nothing but risky. Kai Shan took a look at Fang Yuan and said, go. Saying so, he took a huge step and left the place. He kept his word, although the wild boar king had much value, he turned around and left without hesitation. Seeing Kai Shan's group leaving, Zhao San and the gang breathed a sigh of relief. From start to finish, they did not say a word of thanks. Zhao San continued shouting, Fang Yuan, hurry, the wild boar king's strength is huge, the spider web is not going to hold out. If you perform well this time, I will not pursue the matter of you leaving the team on your own. Okay, Fang Yuan agreed, quickly getting to the wild boar king and grabbing its 2 huge tusks. He used all his strength and pulled, causing the wild boar king to be suppressed, its struggling suddenly diminished. Good job, Zhao San praised, but his eyes shone with cold light. This Fang Yuan came at a good time, the small beast horde was the perfect chance. Zhao San had never thought of killing Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was his member, and if he died, the clan's evaluation of him would drop. This did not suit his interests. He only promised his uncle Ji Yu Dongtu to slow Fang Yuan's growth. If he could drag it beyond 16 years old, he would obtain a fortune promised by Ji Yu Dongtu. The truth is, even with his scheming and intolerant nature, he did not think of killing Fang Yuan before. This is not just because after a GU master dies, the punishment hall would hold a thorough investigation, thus being risky, but also because of the clan's belief, blood is thicker than water, family comes first. This notion is ingrained into the people's hearts. Unless there is a feud of killing one's parents or stealing one's wife, there is no such phenomenon of disputes. Like how the GUU clan leader once taught the academy elder, not only does the system and rules hold the clan together, there is also the thick family relationships. Any organization would need to have a system and values as their basic core. Using this opportunity, I'll let Fang Yuan get injured and return to the village to nurse his injuries. Let's see if he can cultivate to rank 2 like that. Of course, I cannot strike personally, if I get discovered that would be bad. Since there are so many beasts in the horde anyway, I'll borrow from their strength. Jiu Zhao San laughed coldly in his heart, but he asked, Fang Yuan, how long can you hold out? A while more, don't worry group leader. Fang Yuan replied with much strength. Very good, Hua Xing, go and plant the corrosion blood grass Jiu, Zhao San instructed while healing the red lava python. Yes, a female GU master walked up. She came to the side of the wild boar king and stretched out both hands, giving a thumbs up on both hands. The nails on her thumbs had a purple vine insignia coiling around. Light red colored red steel primeval essence gushed out and surrounded her white thumb, and entered the insignia. The vines were brought alive immediately, extending a delicate tentacle from her nails. The tentacles moved like snakes, extending to the wild boar king's mouth, and then along its teeth, going deep into its stomach. He. Fang Yuan covered his mouth in the darkness as it curled into a devious angle. Others would think about kinship and not have killing intent on their clansmen, this was going against the traditional moral values of the clan. But he did not put these values into his heart. The strength he placed on the wild boar king's tusks suddenly vanished. The wild boar king furiously growled and summoned all its strength. Its tusks swung in the air as Fang Yuan, who was holding onto both tusks, was brought along with the force and was thrown away. The wild boar king once again turned its head, and the tusks swept through. The female GU master was beside it and could not react quickly enough to such a change. She was hit by the tusks and screamed in agony. Then her slim body, after getting hit by the tusks, broke into 2 with a snap. The female GU master flew away like a broken bag, she was swept high into the sky, and then plopped down again. She landed on the ground, her eyes wide open. She was dead on the spot. Chapter 95, Garbage Teammate. The female GU master's body was like a ragdoll. From the waist and across it was broken, and her upper body laid on the ground, displayed at an odd angle against her lower body, the arms parallel to the ground while her legs were pointing towards the sky. From afar, Fang Yuan also started to descend. First, He hit the tree canopy and broke many branches before landing on the snowy ground. He turned his body nimbly and stood up on the snowy ground. Because he had utilized the jade skin GU earlier, other than some pain in his back, he was unscathed. On the battlefield, after a momentary silence, Zhao San's angry howl could be heard. "Fang Yuan, didn't you say you could hold on?" Fang Yuan laughed coldly in the dark, but suddenly his body twisted and he almost fell down. He used his hand to hold onto the tree trunk as support and was able to maintain his body balance. He pretended to limp as if he could not walk, but his gaze swept across the surroundings to see if there was any other GU masters. Against the beast horde, the GU masters were fighting with all they had, and could not be free enough or even have the mood to observe Fang Yuan. Even though he had been observing in secret and found no GU masters nearby, Fang Yuan still discreetly chose to hide himself. From the other side, intense battle noises could be heard again. Evidently, the wild boar king had escaped its entrapment and was fighting once again with the red lava python. Fang Yuan shifted step by step towards them with a face of anxiety, almost falling onto the ground a few times. Dirt, soil, grass and snow were all over his body, making him appear battered and exhausted. He finally got back to the fringe of the battlefield. On the battlefield, 3 people and a pig were fighting. The red lava python coiled around the body of the wild boar king and its 2 hind legs. The wild boar king's 2 front legs could only thrash around randomly, causing it to roll on the ground, sometimes struggling. With the movement of its 2 front legs, it knocked and crashed into things randomly. There were even more injuries on its body now. The boiling pig blood had dyed the floor red. Seeing Fang Yuan, the outermost positioned Gu Kong Jing said, "Fang Yuan, you scum, you caused Hua Xin to die." I didn't mean it. But I really couldn't hold it." Fang Yuan shouted. "Fuck, then why did you promise so confidently if you couldn't?" "No means no, giving false promises like this will kill us all." Gu Kong Jing furiously screamed. If he was not in combat at the moment, he would go up and give Fang Yuan 2 tight slaps. Sorry, I won't do it again." Fang Yuan quickly yelled back. "Fang Yuan, we'll talk about this later." Sickly Snake Zhao San roared, feeling his pressure intensify. The almost dead wild boar king had flown into madness, and the red lava python had injuries and cracks all over its body. "Kong Jing, don't bother with Fang Yuan. Quickly take out the knife scale web." When Zhao San saw that the red lava python was almost at its breaking point, he shouted in panic with cold sweat all over. "Yes." Kong Jing quickly retrieved the big belly frog and used his primeval essence, vomiting a piece of steel web. On this steel web, there were sharp spikes and apparent blades. "Fang Yuan, grab the other end and rush up with me, we'll entangle the wild boar king." Kong Jing said. "But my leg is injured, I cannot walk." Fang Yuan said with an anxious expression, crippling his way there. "Useless thing." Kong Jing, with no other choice, had to do it himself, his hands dragging the knife scales web and throwing it at the wild boar king. The wild boar king was covered by the knife scale web, causing it to cry out as fresh blood splattered. It had predicted that its death was impending, and struggled even more fiercely. As its struggle intensified, the knife scale web's entanglement got tighter, and its injuries worsened. As for the red lava python, because of its rock body, it did not take much damage from this knife scale web. "What a waste of this fur," Zhao San said in pity. Finally settled, Kong Jing breathed out in relief. At this time, Fang Yuan shouted, "Let me help you guys." Swoosh swoosh swoosh, numerous moonblades flew out and hit the knife scale web, causing the steel threads to be torn apart. With the wild boar king's intense struggle, the hole got even bigger and the knife scale web was torn into pieces, allowing the wild boar king to escape. At once, Kong Jing stared with bulging eyes, lost for words. What the fuck? Another female GU master could no longer care about her feminine image and swore loudly. It seems I messed up. I wanted to help," Fang Yuan said, sounding very sincere and innocent. Zhao San dodged the wild boar king's charge, rolling on the floor. Before he even got up, he shouted, "Fang Yuan, you dumb piece of shit, see what you did. You're simply garbage for a teammate." "Leader, you must trust me, I didn't mean it," Fang Yuan defended himself. "Shut the fuck up, from now on, do nothing, wait at the corner." Zhao San shouted, rolling again and dodging the wild boar king's trample. Fang Yuan snickered, but still obediently took tens of steps back. "All of you get back," Zhao San shouted, finally showing his true trump card as 2 strands of poisonous yellow air came out from his nostrils. The poisonous air continued to come out from his nose, growing more and more until they gathered into a lump of yellow poisonous cloud. The Wild Boar King and Zhao San's shadow could be seen outside the poisonous cloud. Kong Jing, Fang Yuan and the others observed outside the yellow cloud. Fang Yuan said to the remaining female GU master, "Heal my leg, it's injured." The female GU master flew into a rage, "My good sister is dead, and your leg is only stumped. Why don't you go and die?" Fang Yuan said in grievance, "I didn't want this to happen either." But his eyes shone with a trace of sharpness. "Should I act, and eliminate these people? It is a chance to act now." In their subconscious minds, they would not expect me to have killing intention. If the sickly snake group is exterminated, there would be fewer restrictions on me. But, if any GU master saw this process, I would fall into the abyss. The crime of killing a clansman is the most unforgivable in this world. Not only will I be executed, I would also have to face all sorts of torture for 7 days and 7 nights. Death is not scary, but for such a small group, it is not worth the risk. A pity the Wild Boar King is dying. After this battle the sickly snake group would be greatly weakened and their battle strength would be at the lowest, they would definitely leave the battlefield. What a pity, this was a godsend opportunity. Fang Yuan felt regret and pity in his heart. But he had done it to the greatest limit, and if he exceeded this, the feeling of sabotage would thicken. The others were not stupid, they would notice, and if other GU masters saw this, the risk would intensify. 5 minutes later, the Wild Boar King plopped onto the ground. The yellow cloud dissipated, and Zhao San breathed loudly with a pale face. He had used his final trump card, and now he had little to no primeval essence left. "All of you come here and dissect the corpse quickly, we will retreat after taking the spoils of the battle." Zhao San shouted. Fang Yuan surrounded the Wild Boar King and quickly began to dissect the corpse. The Wild Boar King's blood was still hot, and the smell of blood was thick. Throughout the surrounding forest that was enshrouded in darkness, there were continuous howls from wild beasts and intense battle noises. But there were no wild beasts in this tiny battlefield. This was the authority of the Beast King. There were rules among the wild beasts. The thick aura of the Wild Boar King caused other wild beasts to shrink in fear, and if the beast horde came here, they would find their way around this region. Of course, if it was another stronger beast horde or another Beast King, they would not care about the Wild Boar King's aura. At this time, pairs of blue eyes glowed in the surrounding darkness. From other places, blood-curdling screeches and alarmed cries of GU masters could be heard. "It's the wolves, the wolf pack." The lightning wolf pack actually appeared. Damn it, why is there a wolf pack here? It is still not the time for the outburst of the wolf tide, right? "Retreat, forget the Wild Boar King, we have to retreat quickly." Zhao San shouted, and the faces of the surrounding people also turned white. One lightning wolf was not scary. But a pack of lightning wolves, even the Wild Boar King would have to run. Most importantly, the lightning wolves' durability and endurance were high. They also had great speed, being most proficient at chasing. At such a critical moment, Zhao San could no longer care about the others, abandoning the 3 and running for his life. "Group leader, wait for me," Kong Jing shouted in panic, catching up to him. "I do not have a GU worm that enhances my speed, I can't escape." Zhao San and the others have no primeval essence left, so even if they have a speed-type GU, they can't escape the chase of the lightning wolves. Under the danger of death, Fang Yuan evaluated calmly. He quickly hit the neck of the female GU master near him who was in a daze, causing her to faint. Next, by dragging her, he burrowed into the Wild Boar King's stomach that was cut open. The Wild Boar King's stomach was already cut open with a huge wound. Fang Yuan squeezed his way into the bloody wild boar's body, at the same time using the female GU master's body to block away the entrance and cover up his body. The wolf pack quickly descended, mostly chasing after Zhao San and Kong Jing, while a portion of them surrounded the Wild Boar King and feasted. While Fang Yuan was inside the wild boar's body, he could hear the wolves, chewing and swallowing, as well as their biting, causing vibrations in the corpse. To think that the first beast horde had lightning wolves, this is a surprise, the clan would definitely send reinforcements. The Wild Boar King's body is huge, so if the lightning wolves want to eat it completely, they would still need some time. As long as I can hold out, I would be spared from them. Fang Yuan pondered deeply. Without accident, Zhao San and Kong Jing should be dead meat. They had little primeval essence and were not speed-oriented, so with such a small distance, they would definitely get slaughtered by the wolves. When people panic, they would make dumb decisions. Under the pressure of death, there are little who can remain as calm as Fang Yuan and make the most appropriate decisions. Even if the Wild Boar King's flesh was all eaten, exposing Fang Yuan who was hiding, the amount of lightning wolves that Fang Yuan would have to deal with is definitely lesser than the others. According to his experience, at most 5 would appear, which would be his limit. He had much greater chance of surviving. The lightning wolves continued to chew and bite, the sound indicating that they were getting closer. The wild boar king's flesh had mostly gone into the lightning wolf's stomach. If a normal person was in such a predicament, they would feel as if the seconds that were passing by were like an eternity. But instead Fang Yuan closed his eyes and took out his primeval stones, fighting against time to recover his primeval essence. Chapter 96. For the sake of those who died. The primeval essence that Fang Yuan recovered while in the boar's stomach went unused ultimately. The beast horde this time was under the supervision of the GUU higher-ups, and the lightning wolf gang was just a small accident. Quickly, the GUU higher-ups gave their response. 3 clan elders led their respective teams and swiftly grasped the situation. Merely 10 minutes later, Fang Yuan could hear fighting sounds from outside the boar's stomach, as well as the cries of the lightning wolves. He quickly kicked the female GU master out, and crawled out with blood stains all over him. Fang Yuan was naturally not afraid of the lightning wolves, but he was afraid of getting caught in the battle. If a GU master accidentally attacked the corpse, wouldn't he be too unlucky? By then who can he hold responsibility for? With a big living person suddenly crawling out from the boar's stomach, this caused the few GU masters fighting the lightning wolves to be taken aback. Fang Yuan's entire body was a bloody mess, and his leg was still entangled in the wild boar king's intestines. His entire body emitted a nose-piercing bloody smell, and the few GU masters frowned in response. But Fang Yuan paid no heed to that. He breathed deeply in enjoyance, extending his limbs and observing the battlefield. As he had predicted, there were 5 lightning wolves. But these lightning wolves were either old or injured. They were the bottom of the pack's hierarchy. As the wolf pack got stronger and bigger, in order to protect the young and healthy lightning wolves, the wolf king would expel all these old and sickly wolves in order to allocate resources efficiently. These lightning wolves gathered together and rushed towards the surrounding beast groups, and under each other's influence, eventually formed this small beast horde. The 5 lightning wolves quickly had casualties under the GU master's attacks. They were too full from eating, and their stomachs expanded, affecting their battle strength. At the same time, new arriving GU masters had sufficient primeval essence in their aperture and had their peak battle strength, unlike Zhao San and the rest. Primeval essence was especially important to GU masters. A weakened phoenix is inferior to a chicken. With less primeval essence, a GU master's battle strength would fall rapidly. And without primeval essence, they were even inferior to mortals. Why do you think, for example, the liquor worm, black and white boar GU, these GU were so precious? It had to do with this fact. Firstly, with the liquor worm, it can refine primeval essence and allow GU masters to store much more primeval essence. Remember that higher tier essence is essentially double of the previous tier. 88% mid-tier equals 44% upper tier. And the black and white boar GU worms gave GU masters strength. Without requiring primeval essence, they can unleash their worth. And for the black and white boar GU, once one person has used them, they can be given to another person to use, showing great collective value in a group. The battle continued for a while and stopped. The 5 lightning wolves continued to fall, and the new reinforcement group did not venture further. Their primeval essence had been used up nearly, and their battle strength had been greatly reduced. To be safe, they stopped on the spot. As they recovered, they awaited further reinforcements. A group of 5, with the reconnaissance GU master keeping alert while the other 3 used primeval stones to recover their primeval essence, the healing GU master bent down and observed the female GU master's corpse. She's dead. Healing GU master sighed deeply. Seeing his sad expression, it seemed like he knew the female GU master. Fang Yuan watched coldly. This female GU master which he had knocked unconscious was blocking in front of him. Now she had lost her right chest, and a leg. Her arm was also greatly injured by the wolves, eaten until the bones could be seen. But these injuries and the massive loss of blood was not the true cause of her death. What caused her demise was cardiac arrest. The lightning wolves' bites carried electric currents with them. The currents flowed into the female GU master's body while she was unconscious, and caused her to have a heart attack. The originally beautiful and sexy body was now lying on the ground, still and unmoving. Her previous glamour was nowhere to be found, being just an ugly dead corpse now. She's dead, and it is all your fault. As a man, why did you hide behind a woman? You're a disgrace to men. The healing GU master looked up, staring at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan shrugged emotionlessly, his expression calm. The truth is, she competed with me over the spot, but eventually I won, so I'm very glad about the results. Scumbag. The healing GU master rushed up. Bam. Fang Yuan raised his feet and sent him flying. Healing GU masters were normally weak at combat, and because of the clan rules, he did not dare to use his GU worms. Just competing with physical strength, how can he be Fang Yuan's match? This detestable guy. Healing GU master crawled up with a dusty face and wanted to rush up again, but was stopped by the reconnaissance GU master. If you think I committed a crime and caused her to die, you can report it to the punishment hall. I'll take it, Fang Yuan said lightly as he stared at the healing GU master, and left. Damn it. The healing GU master's eyes were blowing fire as he stared at Fang Yuan's back view, urging to rush up but was restrained by his teammates. Calm the hell down. Even if you report it to the punishment hall, the clan won't punish him. We know you liked her, but although the clan cannot punish him, we can spread this matter out. Under the urging of his teammates, the healing GU master calmed down and lowered his head, crying. A boat encountered trouble, a man grabbed onto a wooden plank and was temporarily saved. At this time, another man swam up and wanted to grab the plank as well, but this plank can only hold the weight of one man, so the first man pushed the second man away so that he could be safe, causing the other person to drown in the sea. The rescued man was later tried in court but declared not guilty. This is the wooden plank incident on Earth. Meaning, to save oneself under forced circumstances, endangering another person's life is no crime. On Earth, it is the necessity law. In this world, there are similar clan rules. This means, even if the healing GU master reports it to the punishment hall, I will not be punished. But Fang Yuan continued to walk as he pondered. He moved in a steady pace without any rush. Along the path that had been cleared, Fang Yuan would discover corpses, the majority of these being wild beasts of all kinds of varieties, and in the mix were some GU master corpses. At the same time, there were small rescue groups rushing to the front lines. When they met Fang Yuan on the way, they would look at this bloody young man with curious and confused gazes. Fang Yuan paid no attention to them. His eyes were a dark abyss, continuing his train of thought. But, if the fact that I knocked the female GU master unconscious was found out, I would be tried for harming a clansman. Yet at that time, nobody should have seen it. Zhao San and Kong Jing were all looking at a different direction and rushing for their lives. Fang Yuan's footsteps came to a halt. He saw the corpses of Kong Jing and Zhao San. The former's body had already been eaten until it was unrecognizable, while the latter's corpse was still well preserved. The red lava python was already a pile of lava rocks, completely dead. And beside the sickly snake, there were a few lightning wolves' corpses. Evidently Zhao San's final struggle caused a huge battle. Good, that means that other than me, everyone else is dead. Fang Yuan evaluated internally, feeling joy. This means I would have fewer restrictions around me. Fang Yuan stopped. He saw Zhao San's finger twitch softly. Not dead, what a stubborn life, Fang Yuan snickered, killing intent rising again. At this point, there was tens of healing GU masters coming from the front. Quick, save the injured. They are our clansmen, we have to save what we can. If they are confirmed dead, retrieve their GU worms. Fang Yuan's gaze concentrated. What to do? They were so close, he would have to take a huge risk to kill Zhao San. Whether using strangulation or a moonblade, there will be traces. In front of these GU masters, he had no time to clear the traces. So let him live. Even if Zhao San is treated now, he might not survive. No, if I can exterminate Zhao San, there would be a lot lesser opposition in my way. Such an opportunity, if lost, I would have a hard time finding another one. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan had an inspiration. He gradually half-kneeled beside Zhao San, removing his upper shirt and covering Zhao San's face and upper body. He was inside the boar's stomach for a long time, so the pig's blood had soaked his shirt, causing it to be heavy and wet. He put the upperwear on Zhao San's nose and mouth, preventing him from breathing. Fang Yuan half-kneeled, silently watching, his expression solemn and pained. At this point, a GU master came over. Little lad, I am the medicine hall's GU master, let me take a look. Scram, Fang Yuan growled angrily, pushing him away. The GU master fell on the ground, but he was not angry, instead consoling him, little brother, my condolences. I know how you feel right now and I know how it feels to see the clansmen that you live with die in front of you. But you are covered in blood now, you must be heavily injured. For the sake of these sacrificed clansmen, you have to live properly. Come, let me heal you. Fang Yuan did not open his mouth. He remained silent, the lower half of his face covered in a dark shadow. He allowed this GU master to check his body. The result was rather surprising. Although Fang Yuan was bathed in blood, appearing terrifying to everyone, he actually had no injuries at all. But the GU master quickly collected his spirits, concentrating on Zhao San. I'm very sorry, the clan needs to take back the GU worms. The GU master sincerely looked at Fang Yuan, then he lifted the bloody shirt slowly off Zhao San. Zhao San's eyes were half open without any life in them. The GU master professionally used his finger to prop open Zhao San's eyelids, looking at his iris and then touching his neck. But he felt no pulse. Dead, completely dead. The GU master did not suspect anything. He sighed and placed his hand on Zhao San's stomach. His stomach still had some warmth and the aperture was slowly disappearing, there were no GU worms inside. The GU master looked at Fang Yuan, whether intentionally or unintentionally, every GU master's GU worm is stated in writing, and after a GU master dies, his GU worms will be treated as an inheritance for his inheritor. Taking it for oneself is against the clan rules. Fang Yuan was fearless, staring right at the GU master. Of course I know that. You suspect that I took the group leader's GU worms. Taking these GU worms involved risks and trouble. If his secrets were dragged out, they would bring more loss than gain. Fang Yuan knew this, even if with the spring-autumn cicada he could instantly refine any GU, it was difficult to do in the clan. It was not worth inviting such troubles for these minute gains. Apart from this, there was another point. With his financial status now, even if he got them, he might not be able to feed them. To Fang Yuan's question, the GU master laughed quickly. I did not mean that. People cannot come back to life after dying, so please restrain your grief, little brother. For the sake of the deceased, you have to live even better. Fang Yuan gradually stood up. He used an extremely sad and pained expression, staring at sickly Snake's corpse with rapt attention. The night wind howled in his ears. You were right. After a while, Fang Yuan broke the silence, his gaze determined, saying with an intentional meaning, for the sake of those who died, I have to live even better than before. Chapter 97. Devils Run Amok. Internal Affairs Hall, Interrogation Room. The light of the winter sun shone on the ground through the only window. Fine dust particles slowly floated on the light pillar. The light pillar enshrouded a chair. Fang Yuan was sitting on that chair, bathing in the sunshine. In the darkness ahead of him was a long table where 3 elders were seated. The interrogation had already continued for an hour. Fang Yuan, are you sure there are no mistakes in your narration? An elder asked. Yes. Fang Yuan's eyes were down, looking at his toes. The sunshine shone on his fair face, making him look like a white sculpture. He had already expected this situation. After all his group members had died except him. In fact, every GU master would go through a certain degree of interrogation which conveniently helped the clan to gather battle statistics. But Fang Yuan was continuously interrogated for an hour. Clearly, someone was making it difficult for him from behind the scenes. This was completely understandable. As long as one was human and had social relations, there would be series of people involved. Then narrate your account on the battle situation at that time again. The elder continued to ask. Okay, I used several days to break through to rank 2. Upon returning to the village gate, I met Kai Shan group and reunited with Zhao San group after finding them. At that time, they were having a fierce fight with the Wild Boar King, Fang Yuan calmly narrated. He took the initiative to reveal his breakthrough to rank 2. With no concealing GU worm, he wouldn't be able to conceal his rank 2 aura. Now the sickly snake and the team were dead, so he naturally fabricated the events. But he could only conceal some main details and narrate the majority of the events as they were. This was already the 5th time Fang Yuan narrated the events. The 3 elders frowned as they listened. They couldn't find any holes, but they knew, if it was fabricated, then there would be unnecessary details. After one kept on talking about it several times, there would naturally be holes. But after 5 times, although there were some differences in how Fang Yuan narrated the events, the contents were the same. It should be true. The 3 elders communicated with each other using eye signals. But one elder was not satisfied. Her daughter was the sickly snake group's healing GU master whom she loved dearly but ended up dying a cruel death in the wolves' mouths. Thus she was very angry and her gaze carried coldness as she looked at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan, you cut the knife scales net with your moonblades, why did you do it? This middle-aged female elder spoke sternly. Because I wanted to have some contributions, but it ended up being a bad move. Fang Yuan replied. Then let me ask you, did you intentionally use your teammate, the female GU master, as a shield when you hid in the boar's stomach? The elder asked again. I don't know. I was very scared at that time and hurriedly tried to hide inside the Boar King, but she also entered inside and fought me for the inside position. She couldn't defeat me and was bitten to death by the lightning wolves. I am ashamed, Fang Yuan answered. The middle-aged female elder grinded her teeth. Fang Yuan's answer was cunning, he only stated the fact but didn't mention his subjective intentions at all. This made the elders who wanted to suppress him, not find any handle on him, their hearts were filled with anger but they couldn't do anything. Under such situation, they couldn't judge Fang Yuan guilty. It had already been 3 days since the small beast died. The statistics of the casualties made all the higher-ups have ugly expressions. There were losses in the past small beast tides too, but they were definitely not as grave as this. The cause was the lightning wolves pack. Before, these lightning wolves packs would only appear after at least 3 waves of small beast tide. The environment was dangerous in this world, survival, difficult. From a human standpoint, to survive, apart from fighting with other humans for resources, they still had to struggle against fierce beasts and nasty weathers. And these struggles were often very difficult. The small beast tide was still only a prelude. The real terror would be the large wolf tide, a year after. Tens of thousands of lightning wolves would charge towards the village with the terrifyingly powerful lightning wolf king. The female elder continued to ask several questions but she had to finally give up under Fang Yuan's invulnerable answers. Then Fang Yuan, what do you plan to do from now on? Another elder asked with deep intention. I plan to apply for the family assets, inheriting and continuing my family's heritage. Fang Yuan spoke openly, there was no need to conceal it. Sickly Snake Group was destroyed and now only Fang Yuan was left. Because of this, he didn't have to use rank 2 GU Master's right to give up a mission and could accept the family assets mission. The elder nodded his head then shook his head, you didn't understand my meaning. Apart from you, your group is no more. I can give you a suggestion, join another group. Internal Affairs Hall's missions difficulty is designed for groups, it is very difficult for a lone person to complete them. Whether it is your family inheritance mission or the compulsory monthly missions, they are both like this. Fang Yuan was silent. This elder continued, of course, there is another option. You are already a rank 2 GU master. You have the qualifications to become a group captain. You just need to pass the examination mission and you can build your own group. Which do you want to choose? Fang Yuan blinked his eyes. I don't know yet, I need some time to consider. Then you can leave. Think it over as soon as possible. After a few days pass, it will be difficult for you to join a group, the elder said concernedly. Fang Yuan sneered inwardly, he wouldn't choose any of these 2 paths. He had a lot of secrets. Only by himself could he be safe and do things properly. Otherwise, wouldn't he be annoyed to death if there were others with him all the time? Leaving this interrogation room, Fang Yuan didn't immediately leave the Internal Affairs Hall but instead applied for the family inheritance mission. However, he was informed that he could only take it after 3 days due to the busy events recently. Coming out of the Internal Affairs Hall, he gazed at the sky. It was just an ordinary winter afternoon. The winter was bleak along with biting wind. The sky seemed to be pervaded with deep grief. Today is Group Memorial Assembly. Jiu Jinzu is dead, did you know, Fang Yuan? Mo Bei, along with a group of youths, were walking through the path. Other than Mo Bei, there were Fang Zheng, Kai Cheng and others. Mo Bei and Kai Cheng normally hated each other very much, but today, they seemed to forget this grievance and walked together. Big brother, Jin Zhu studied with us for a year. Come with us, Fang Zheng said. Jiu Jin Zhu. A girl's image immediately appeared in Fang Yuan's mind. Previously, she had been evenly matched with Mo Bei on the arena but lost because of her lacking stamina. She was a hard-working girl. But, death didn't discriminate between beauty and ugly. Most people would feel pity, but Fang Yuan was indifferent as usual. Ah, she is dead. But dying of old or sickness, they are both normal events. After seeing it many times you'll be indifferent to it. You guys go, I am busy. Fang Yuan brushed past the group. This guy. At once, many among the group were angered. He is really cold-blooded and heartless. He simply doesn't have a feeling of friendship. Hee, there is a rumor going around recently. You should have all heard it, right? The reason Fang Yuan survived was because he hid inside a boar's stomach and used his female GU master teammate as a shield. He is really a disgrace with no worth. He doesn't even have the manners of a man. Kai Cheng folded his arms and laughed coldly. Big brother, Fang Zheng lowered his head and grinded his teeth. Hearing these discussions, as Fang Yuan's little brother, he felt shame. Fang Yuan left and as he walked farther, the mockeries behind him gradually couldn't be heard anymore. His heart was calm. Why would insults matter to me? Insults were insults, what could they do? A superficial person would be angry due to curses and would be happy due to praises. These were just bystanders, way of looking at you. Those who lived according to others' point of view were really pitiful. In fact, some people had deliberately spread the rumors to degrade Fang Yuan's name. Sacrificing a female teammate to protect oneself wouldn't be subjected to punishment, but would be criticized by moral consensus. But, this was the exact situation Fang Yuan wanted. Once one enters the system, one would be a pawn with no freedom and must follow the system's rules. To Fang Yuan, it was a huge obstacle. He needed resources and even more needed to be solitary. So, he wanted to be a loner. What if you were rejected by the crowd? Haha, only weak-hearted people would be afraid of being rejected. If this happened on Earth, no matter who, they would end up dead. After all, 2 fists can't beat 4 hands, social connections were the way to survival. But in this world, if the cultivation was strong, one person could beat 10, hundreds and thousands of enemies. So what if you were rejected? Just kill the ones who block your path. If you don't have resources, snatch them. Every world had different rules and regulations. The society structure was also bound to be different, causing the difference in human behaviors. And in a world of martial arts, group thoughts were rather weak. So in this world, devils run amok. Chapter 98. Difficulty of refining GU. What? That lad, he's a rank 2 GU master now, and even applied for the asset-splitting mission from the Internal Affairs Hall. Uncle Gu Dong2's furious and shocked voice reverbed throughout the main hall. That is indeed so. Although I accepted your primeval stones, I cannot do much to stop him. I only managed to tell him to collect the mission in 3 days. I can only stall that long for you, that is my limit. The middle-aged GU master beside him said. Gu Dong2 snorted in his heart. He could sense the hidden meaning in the Internal Affairs Hall's GU master's words. Stall for 3 days, it is the limit. Such words were merely an excuse to extort even more money. But, top priority now is still to do all I can to retain the assets. This rascal is really too troubling. Gu Dong2's sweat poured from his forehead as Fang Yuan's growth was so rapid it gave him the feeling of a heart attack. I came here especially to tell you this, so I'll take my leave now. The middle-aged man stood up to depart. Don't be in such a rush, brother. There are some things I still need for you to assist me a little with. Gu Dong2 hurriedly stood up, retrieving a money bag and stuffing it into the middle-aged GU master's hand. The male GU master took the entire bag of primeval stones and stuffed it into his chest pocket, his tone quickly changing, laughing loudly. Brother Dong2, you are too polite. We have such a great relationship, we've known each other for over 10 years. Don't worry, I will prepare the toughest mission for Fang Yuan, but he might employ other GU masters to help him. You have to watch out for this. You can be rest assured. Although I have retired, I still have my relationships, I've sent people to observe him. If that lad employs outsiders, that is against the clan rules, and I am still waiting to get a hold of his weakness. Then I am at ease, goodbye. Let me send you out. It is okay, please stay. Gu Dong2 stared at the leaving GU master, his smile slowly collapsing. This Fang Yuan, he is only C grade, how can he advance to rank 2 so soon? Damn it, what were Zhao San and the others doing? Can't even guard against a newbie. Sigh, now Zhao San and the team were all killed by the beast horde, what incompetent fools. Fang Yuan also advanced to rank 2, this way he can definitely receive the family acid mission. My previous methods to block him will no longer work. But he is now working alone, and aiming to complete the acid inheritance mission alone is really difficult. No, this lad's luck is absurd. First I got Zhao San and the rest to suppress him, and immediately the beast horde came. If he relies on this luck again and completes the mission, what then? I have to prepare for the worst. An old sly fox, Gu Dong2 being able to enter and leave the fighting life peacefully and live up until now, it represented success already. Compared to the newly independent Fang Yuan, his interpersonal relationships were much stronger. Collecting honey wine. When Fang Yuan received the acid mission, his eyes shone with cold glimmer. This mission was very troublesome. It was to collect 5 liang, 1 of golden bees honey wine. Golden bees were all fist-sized with gold and black stripes, and they had a sharp stinger packed with a strong attack. That was not all. Among normal small hives, there was only honey. Only those large or medium hives had the precious honey wine made from a large accumulation of honey. This mission, even for a 5-man group, is very difficult. Because the number of people no longer matter, the GU master collecting honey wine has to have a defensive type GU to withstand the stings. It seems that uncle's relationship has struck and is bullying my lack of a defensive GU worm. Unfortunately for him, Fang Yuan laughed coldly in his heart. At this point, it showed the inherent benefits of the flower wine monk's inheritance. Easy to do things secretly, difficult to do things openly. The more one worked openly, the more their trump cards get revealed, and they become easier to trap. Conversely, working secretly helps to hide trump cards and lets others be unable to assess your situation, thus not being able to nip the problem in the bud. But, if I want to collect honey wine, the Jade Skin GU isn't enough. Jade Skin GU is only a rank 1 GU, but if it can advance to the rank 2 White Jade GU, I would be able to do it easily. Without the need to attempt to take risks, his rich life experience allowed him to take less pointless steps. Speaking of which, Fang Yuan is already a rank 2 initial stage GU master, but the GU worms on him, other than the spring-autumn cicada, were all rank 1 GU worms. This situation is like a grown man who is able to wield a halberd only holding a small dagger. The dagger is unable to display the full extent of the man's strength, and only with a halberd is it the most suitable. Fang Yuan had 7 GU worms in his possession. The Vital GU Spring-Autumn Cicada, Moonlight GU, Liquor Worm, White Boar GU, Jade Skin GU and 2 Little Light GU. In this mix, the Moonlight GU can fuse with the 2 Little Light GU to form the Moonglow GU. The White Boar GU and Jade Skin GU can fuse into White Jade GU. Moonglow GU represents a surge in attack power, while White Jade GU is an increase in defense. If Fang Yuan had enough primeval stones, he would choose to refine them both. But not long ago, in order to push his cultivation to rank 2, he expended most of his primeval stones. Now, with the primeval stones on hand, it was only enough for one use. Undoubtedly, choosing to refine the White Jade GU is a better choice. With the White Jade GU, I can retrieve the honey wine. And with the White Jade GU, I can advance better in the flower wine monk's inheritance. But if this fusion fails, the results will be dire. My finances are on the brink of collapse, so without the White Jade GU, I cannot get my parents' assets. Stuck at this point, it will greatly slow my growth. Fang Yuan felt a subtle pressure. He knew that he was at a crossroad, and if this fusion succeeds, the future is bright. If he fails, then he would fall into the abyss. To get back to the current point, he would need even more effort in management and spend a longer time. GU masters use their primeval C as the base, and GU worms as the method. GU is a GU master's necessity, without GU they are not GU masters. Other than their own cultivation, GU masters also have to refine, nurture and use GU. In the room, clan leader GU Yubo meticulously explained to Fang Zheng. Refine, nurture, and use. These 3 aspects, whichever one is also a huge knowledge trove. Even if you spend an entire lifetime, you cannot completely finish it. On the aspect of refining GU, you already know how to refine a GU and make it yours. But this is only a single refinement. There is also the more important aspect of fusion. Through fusion, you can fuse multiple GU worms into one with a higher rank. This is the evolution of life. Fang Zheng, you are already a rank 2 GU master, but your GU worms are all rank 1. It is time you refine a rank 2 GU worm. Fang Zheng asked, clan leader, how do I do fusion? GU Yubo said, to fuse, you have to know the recipe. Some GU worms cannot be fused together. Through many eons of trial and error, and endless failures, our ancestors have come up with several recipes. Our GU clan has the most in-depth research with the Moonlight GU, and we now have 2 rank 5 recipes on hand. What is a rank 5 recipe? In accordance to this recipe, through multiple fusions, one can finally refine up to a rank 5 GU worm. Fang Zheng, you have 1 Jade Skin GU and a Moonlight GU on hand, it satisfies the condition for one of the rank 5 recipes. If you follow this recipe, you will get the rank 5 GU eventually, Moonlight Treasure King GU. Moonlight Treasure King GU. Fang Zheng's face was full of desire. He, telling you about a rank 5 GU now is still too early. Come, take out your Jade Skin and Moonlight GU, I'll teach you how to fuse these 2 GU into the rank 2 Moon Raiment. Saying so, GU Yubo's expression turned solemn. The most important thing about fusing GU is parallel thinking, fusing your consciousness. The Moonlight GU and Jade Skin GU in your hands now have no wild consciousness anymore, overridden by your own consciousness. What you have to do now is to fuse these 2 thoughts together. Fuse together. Fang Zheng blinked, confused. Ji Yu Bo smiled. No worries, practice more, you will be able to grab hold of this feeling. Let's begin. Fang Zheng nodded, and under Ji Yu Bo's guidance, his light red-colored red steel primeval essence rose like smoke, enveloping the jade skin Ji Yu and the moonlight Ji Yu in midair. Fang Zheng shut his eyes, feeling and manipulating the two Ji Yu worms' consciousness. Ji Yu Bo was outside watching, and saw the jade skin Ji Yu and moonlight Ji Yu circling each other like two planets. As the consciousness fused, the distance between the two Ji Yu worms shortened. After 3 hours of continuous tries, their consciousness was finally controlled by Fang Zheng, and fused together perfectly. At once, the jade skin Ji Yu and moonlight Ji Yu both erupted in a bright white light. The two lights linked together, forming a lump as big as a face. Maintain this condition, and throw primeval stones into the light. Ji Yu Bo advised. Fang Zheng took out a primeval stone and threw it into the light. Strangely, after throwing the primeval stones in, the stones turned into a surge of pure natural essence, completely fusing with the lump of light. Only rock powder remained, scattering on the bed. Continue throwing until the rank 2 Ji Yu is complete. Ji Yu Bo said. Fang Zheng was about to throw a second piece, but at this point, the light disappeared, and the two Ji Yu flew in two opposite directions like they were pushed away ruthlessly by each other. The fusion failed. Damn, I forgot to maintain the fusion of the consciousness earlier. Fang Zheng immediately realized his mistake. No worries, failing at the start is normal. Ji Yu Bo consoled, but reminded, but be careful, you cannot fail too many times, if not both the moonlight and jade skin Ji Yu will perish. Fang Zheng recalled back the jade skin Ji Yu and moonlight Ji Yu, and found cracks on the moonlight Gu's surface, while the jade skin Ji Yu looked like it was weakened. His heart sank, feeling the difficulty of refining Ji Yu. Chapter 99. Human, not God. Crash. Great waves tumbled in the primeval sea, rising up and down. The sea was light red in color. This was not the green copper sea of a rank 1, but a red steel sea. The aperture was covered with a layer of light coating. This was the appearance of rank 2 initial stage. The whole red steel primeval essence sea occupied 44% of the aperture. Above the sea, the spring-autumn cicada appeared. After going through a year of recuperation, it had already somewhat recovered. Previously, there was no shine from its body, it looked rough and dim like withered wood. Now, it had some gloss to it. Its two wings had been like the yellowed and withered leaves of autumn and the tips had been damaged. Now, there was some green to it and there were black leaf lines on its tips, making a complete arc without any previous defect. Spring-autumn cicada, spring and autumn I see now, it needs to experience the changes of spring and autumn to recover. Since rebirth, a year has passed by, which means a turn of spring and autumn, and so it has recovered. Fang Yuan looked at the spring-autumn cicada and this thought rose within him, increasing his understanding of the spring-autumn cicada by another stage. A Ji-Yu master needs to refine, nurture and use Ji-Yu. Among them, use, was further classified and contained myriads of variations. Fang Yuan had been in contact with the spring-autumn cicada all the time, his comprehension of the spring-autumn cicada was slowly accumulating and deepening. But the spring-autumn cicada is still weak, it has only moved a few steps away from nearing death. I can only use its aura to suppress Ji-Yu worms and increase the efficiency of single refining. As for fusing, it won't be of any help. There were mystical Ji-Yu worms that raised the success rate of fusion. Everything had their own specialties, the spring-autumn cicada possessed the ability of rebirth. Other than the spring-autumn cicada, there was the fat liquor worm which was curled up in a round ball, floating and playing around in the sea. The ladybug-like white boar Ji-Yu and the jade skin Ji-Yu which had green jade color were revolving around each other. Fang Yuan opened his eyes and slowly unfolded his right palm. In it were the imprints of a crescent moon and two five-sided stars. They were precisely the residents of the moonlight Ji-Yu and the two little light Ji-Yu. Fang Yuan sat cross-legged on the bed, his line of sight falling on the bed sheet. There were 3 money bags on the bed sheet, 2 were bulging and 1 was mostly thinned out. Apart from this, there was also a snow-white tusk from the wild boar king. It looked like an elephant's tusk, lying close to Fang Yuan's leg on the bed sheet. Sickly Snake Group had used all their strength to kill the wild boar king, but they met with the lightning wolf pack's attacks and the majority of the skin and flesh of the wild boar king had been eaten away by the lightning wolves. The 2 snow-white tusks were thus the most valuable spoils of war. According to the clan's rules and regulations, Fang Yuan, being one of the members in killing the wild boar king, received one of the wild boar king's tusks. Fang Yuan looked at these items, his expression was heavy. I don't have much primeval stones left and it is only enough for one fusion. After this fusion, no matter success or failure, my financial condition will drop. But if I don't fuse it now, my primeval stones will only last for 12 or so days and I will even lose the chance to fuse. Fang Yuan was raising 7 GU worms, so he had a large financial burden. And because of his C-grade aptitude, he had to repeatedly use the liquor worm to quickly improve his cultivation. Thus, his primeval stone consumption was more than an ordinary GU master's. Recently, he no longer used primeval stones to recover the primeval essence in his aperture. The red steel sea in his body now was all recovered by its natural self-recovery rate. Fang Yuan was already beginning to cut the primeval stones' consumption, he couldn't misuse them after calculating his expenditures. The current situation was like he was about to fall off a cliff. He could only grab onto the wild grass at the side of the cliff to stabilize his body without falling. But as time passed, these lifelines would be continuously used up. If he didn't take any risks, it wouldn't take long for him to fall off the cliff. What he had to do now was to use these lifelines and climb up the cliff with all his strength. If he succeeded, he could seize the opportunity to obtain the family inheritance and ascend to another level, and it would be a whole new scene in front of him. If he lost, he would drop down, and in trying to climb up to this stage again, he would need to spend large amount of time and energy. No matter what happens, let's begin. Fang Yuan took in a deep breath and focused his gaze. White boar GU, jade skin GU. The 2 GU worms followed his will, drilling out of his aperture and floating in front of Fang Yuan. Fuse! Fang Yuan shouted inwardly. White boar GU and jade skin GU suddenly emitted dazzling lights and directly bumped into each other. This was a silent bump, but it created a ball of light. The white light was more dazzling than before. This showed that Fang Yuan's 2 consciousness were fusing. Fang Yuan used his consciousness to maintain the white ball of light, taking out primeval stones from the bag and throwing them into the ball of light. The primeval stones were engulfed by the ball of light and only rock powders remained, scattering on the bed. Each time the ball of light swallowed a primeval stone, its edges would expand a little. The ball of light absorbed the natural primeval essence and became bigger and bigger. Gradually, it changed from the size of a washbowl to a grindstone size. Almost there, Fang Yuan narrowed his eyes. He decisively threw the wild boar king's snow-white tusk into the ball of light. If anyone were to witness this scene, they would be astonished. The secret recipe of fusing white boar GU and jade skin GU to form white jade GU was well known and circulated for over 1,000 years, but no one had ever heard of adding in a wild boar king's snowy tusk. However, not being used in the past doesn't mean that it won't be in the future. 150 years from now, a GU master would improvise this recipe. He discovered that adding a wild boar's tusk would greatly increase the fusion success rate. Fang Yuan had 500 years of experience, he naturally knew of this trick. The snowy tusk was thrown into the ball of light and a fantastic transformation happened immediately. The previously dazzling light turned softer. The light that was blindly shooting off everywhere now had a movement pattern to it, naturally changing between light and dark. Under Fang Yuan's gaze, the ball of light slowly shrunk and finally dissipated into the air. Instead of the jade skin GU and white boar GU, there was now a completely new GU worm calmly hovering in front of Fang Yuan. It was like an oval pebble, its whole body was completely white. This white was not pale like zhen paper and was not milky white like milk, but was a kind of moist white like that of the luster of jade. This was rank 2 white jade GU. Only now did Fang Yuan let out a mouthful of turbid air, his heart relieved. You might think that this process looks simple. It is not. First, the consciousness merging needed multitasking. Drawing a circle with one hand and a square with another is called dual tasking. A lot of people cannot even do this, let alone the highly difficult multitasking. One can only achieve multitasking after years of hard cultivation, suffering through countless defeats and setbacks, and even then one would still need some talent. Fang Yuan could do this so proficiently because of his 500 years of deep experience, not a hint of his experience was fake or forged. Second, was understanding and knowledge of GU worms. The deeper the GU master's understanding of GU worms, the higher the success rate of fusing. This point, in about 300 years from now, would be a widely recognized knowledge. Thus, the longer you use GU worms, the greater the probability of success in GU fusion. Third, was the correct and original recipe. For example, this time, adding the snowy tusk was like the finishing touch, increasing the success rate by 20%. Its efficiency was extraordinary. Some recipes were widely spread in this world, but there were many recipes which people would collect and weren't circulated. Such as in the Guu village, the recipe of refining moonlight Gu was held by a small number of elders and successive generations of clan leaders. Especially those rank 5 and above recipes. They would be hidden and treasured like their lives. Many Gu masters would not spread these recipes until death. But even with these 3 points, there was no absolute guarantee of success. Even a person like Fang Yuan, who had 500 years of memories, plentiful experiences, deep understanding of Gu worms, could multitask and knew a lot of recipes, had a possibility of failure when fusing Gu worms. One can only say that his failure rate is lower. Fusing Gu worms was an evolution of life, a type of creation. It condensed time to the extreme, making the long evolution process bear fruit in an instant. On Earth, only gods could do this. This was no doubt a miracle of life. Gu masters making divine intervention with a mortal body, how could it succeed every time? If it succeeded every time, that would not be human, but God. Chapter 100. White Jade Gu. In the blink of an eye, 10 more days passed. Deep in the mountain, in the underground rock forest. Skayak, tens of jade-eye stone monkeys jumped in the air with blurred silhouettes. They continued to leap and attacked Fang Yuan aggressively. If it was like before, Fang Yuan would retreat without a doubt. But now, he stood on the spot with a cold expression, still like a rock. The stone monkeys slammed, scratched, and bit Fang Yuan's body, but a crisp, ding-ding, sound could be heard, as if they were not attacking a person but a sturdy jade pillar. A bright white jade light covered the area as it attached itself to Fang Yuan's body. This light, although it was thinner than the jade skin goo's jade green glow, it had more than twice of the defensive power. Jade skin goo's defense can only handle up to 16 monkeys' simultaneous attack, but now Fang Yuan could face off against more than 30 monkeys alone. On the arena, I could break Fang Zheng's jade skin goo's defense with my bare fists, but if Fang Zheng used this white jade Gu, even if I broke my wrist bone, I would not be able to penetrate his defenses. Fang Yuan pondered while diverting a part of his thoughts towards his aperture sea. In the red steel primeval sea, the white jade Gu sank to the bottom of the sea, constantly absorbing primeval essence. Its surface also emitted a faint white jade glow, like a light bulb. Every time the stone monkeys attacked Fang Yuan, the white jade Gu's surface, which resembled an oval pebble, would flash faintly. At the same time, Fang Yuan could feel a trace of his primeval essence being expended. White jade Gu's defense is the same type as the jade skin Gu, they both require a continuous source of primeval essence. At the same time, the greater the intensity of the attack, the more primeval essence is expended. Fang Yuan concluded in his heart. At the same time, he counterattacked. Punches and kicks kicked up a sandstorm. His strikes were simple, yet brutal and effective with an imposing aura. Although the white boar Gu was gone, the strength it gave to Fang Yuan still remained in his body. Endless monkeys were hit by Fang Yuan. Some were kicked away, knocking on the stone pillar, some were killed in midair, turning into stone and breaking into fragments when they landed on the ground. At the same time, with a flick of his wrist, Fang Yuan sent moonblades flying around, like the scythe of the reaper, harvesting the lives of the stone monkeys. With the supply of red steel primeval essence, the rank 1 moonlight Gu could cause the greatest attack damage to the monkeys with every hit. Squeak squeak, the stone monkeys screamed in fright, retreating. Fang Yuan had exterminated the stone monkeys in a short moment of counterattack, with only 5 or 6 remaining. Fang Yuan killed another, and the remaining stone monkeys broke down, frantically running around and escaping deep into the stone forest. Fang Yuan did not chase these escapees, but continued forwards deeper into the stone forest. These days, he had been working hard to find the next clue for the inheritance. With continuous exploring, he had stepped foot on most of the areas around the stone forest but did not find anything. He had a hunch, vaguely guessing the flower wine monk's idea. He felt that the next step of the inheritance was likely linked to the most central area of the stone forest. The deeper he got into the forest, the larger the stone pillars were, and the more stone monkeys lived inside them. Fang Yuan walked as he observed. At the center of the stone forest, there was a large stone pillar. Its circumference was wider than tens of men surrounding it and attempting to hug it. This stone pillar was his objective. But, the deeper he got, the larger the monkey gangs, and the higher the difficulty. Fang Yuan took a crucial step out and entered the alert zone of a group of monkeys. Squeak squeak squeak. The black caves in the stone pillar had emerging furious jade-eye stone monkeys, and up to 100 jumped in Fang Yuan's direction. Fang Yuan ran for his life. Against so many monkeys, even with the white jade Gu, he could not massacre them. The stone monkeys chased Fang Yuan for a while, then some started to abandon the chase and turned around, going back to their caves. Eventually, only 30 or so monkeys trailed after Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan, seeing the time was right, turned around and fought. After a round of fighting, the last few monkeys ran and escaped, not even daring to return to their original caves. After a few rounds, Fang Yuan killed over 100 stone monkeys. On the road there were traces of broken stones from the corpses of the stone monkeys. Insufficient primeval essence. Fang Yuan inspected his primeval sea inside, forced to stop in his tracks. If it was before, he would use his primeval stones to recover swiftly, but now, after fusing the white jade GU, he had a severe lack of primeval stones, or rather his entire finance was on the brink of collapsing. Fang Yuan picked up the jade rock eyeballs and stuffed them into his bag. It should be at the bottom of the center of that rock pillar. But to reach there, I have to open a path. This feeling was getting more intense. Fang Yuan gave it one last look before opening the stone door and returning to the second secret room. At the corner of the hidden room, there were some items. A small bag with hundreds of eyeball jades. Fang Yuan opened the bag and poured his loot in from today. The jade pearls collided with one another, emitting a crisp sound. There was another bag, and wild boar tusks were inside. But now Fang Yuan no longer needed to slaughter wild boars. He used the white boar GU and the jade skin GU to refine the white jade GU. The white boar GU had disappeared, and reduced his necessity for pork to zero. The new white jade GU was more like the jade skin GU, it consumed jade rocks. Jade skin GU needed 2 liang of jade rocks every 10 days. While the white jade GU needed 8 liang of jade rocks every 20 days. Normally speaking, the higher the rank, the longer interval there is for each meal. Rank 2 GU usually feed every half a month, while rank 3 GU feed every month, or longer. Of course, higher ranking GU also consume more food. On average, the white jade GU consumed more in cost than the jade skin GU and the white boar GU combined. But to Fang Yuan, he had this rock forest and did not lack jade rocks. At the same time he did not need pork, so he did not need to kill wild boars, thus this saved him a lot of trouble and a lot of time. Tying the little bag up, Fang Yuan picked up a bullskin water sack. Inside the water sack, there was golden honey wine inside. A few days ago, Fang Yuan had relied on the jade skin GU and endured the bees' attacks, and gathered enough honey wine. I only have 2.5 primeval stones left, it is time to go to the Internal Affairs Hall and turn in the mission. Fang Yuan kept the water sack well and returned to the tunnel, squeezing out of the rock crack and returning to the outside world. It was sunset now. The golden sunset of winter was in fact not cold, the weather bright and fair. The setting sun emerged with comfortable rays of a red-orange color, the exquisite sunlight passing through the crown of pine trees and shining onto the mountain floor. Walking alone, he headed towards the village. Yet Fang Yuan did not go directly, but took a few reroutes to prevent the rock crack from being found out. Winter wind blew on his face, this was the smell of freedom. Back in the academy, he could only sneak out at night. Now that he was rank 2, he could move about freely in the day without any suspicion. More importantly, the death of Sickly Snake and the others allowed Fang Yuan to move alone with fewer restraints. The only thing is, Fang Yuan was now alone without any supporting group members. The following clan mission, which occurs monthly, he had to complete one at least, and that would be difficult. Now, after the small beast horde, all the groups had regrouped. Fang Yuan had missed the chance. Because of his reputation, Fang Yuan was also ostracized by the GU masters. Joining other small groups was not going to be easy. So what if I'm left out? The more I float around at the brink, the less attention is on me, and the more advantageous it is for me. As for the clan mission, it is mandatory, so I have to take it. But, thinking of this, Fang Yuan's eyes shone with cold light, he had plans already. The clan mandates that every GU master had to accept a mission every month, but did not force them to complete it. Being unable to complete the mission will result in falling evaluation. This was something no GU master wanted to see, thus they did their all to complete the missions. But to Fang Yuan, this evaluation was crap. Walking into the village, there was an endless stream of people walking along the limestone paths of the streets. At this time, it is normally the peak period. Many GU masters complete their missions with injuries and whatnot, returning to the village. After working for a day, farmers drag their muddy feet and tired bodies, quietly moving along. In this world, living was not easy, it was full of pain and suffering. The setting sun slowly dropped below the mountain top, giving out the last ray of warm light. This light would be diminished by the unevenly crisscrossed branches of the withering trees, becoming the fragments of time scattered upon the green jade walls of bamboo houses. "Oh no, my toy," a girl cried out, chasing her spinning top among the crowd. The spinning top rolled to Fang Yuan's feet, and the girl also hit Fang Yuan's leg, falling on the ground. Sorry, for offending Lord Ji Yu Master, please pardon us." The little girl's father hurried over. When he saw Fang Yuan's clothing, his expression was white as paper, bringing the little girl and kneeling down, kowtowing to Fang Yuan. The girl cried out of shock, pearls of tears trailing down her white and rosy face. The walking mortals upon seeing this scene, turned away and avoided them like the plague. Some Ji Yu masters stared coldly, before turning away and leaving. "Stop crying, you troublemaker." The father was frightened, angry and afraid, moving his hand to give her a slap, but Fang Yuan grabbed his hand, not allowing any movement. "Just a small matter, no worries." Fang Yuan laughed lightly, touching the little girl's head, softly consoling, "Don't be afraid, it is okay." The girl stopped crying, using her teary eyes to look at Fang Yuan, thinking this big brother was really gentle. Thank you Lord for your kindness." The girl's father was overjoyed, kowtowing to Fang Yuan without a break. Fang Yuan continued forward. His rented house was not far away. And on the ground floor of that bamboo house, his uncle Ji Yu Dong too stood, staring at Fang Yuan who was still a distance away, evidently waiting for him.